Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, Lettuce Head Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Deku Had Gamer System Quirk. Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Chapter 1. Yagi's House. A small green-haired boy named Izuku was bubbling with excitement. Today, he and his sister were going to visit the doctor to discover their quirks. Mom, let's go. We're going to be late, he urged, his voice filled with urgency. Calm down, Izuku. We're fine. We're just waiting for your sister, his mother replied with a gentle smile. Okay, he said, turning around to shout. Sis, hurry up. We're going to be late. I'm coming, Izuku, his sister called back from upstairs. Their mother asked, Are you two ready to go see your quirks at the doctor? Yes, Mom. We are ready to go. Izuku exclaimed, his excitement uncontainable. Time skipped to the doctor's office. As they waited in the doctor's office, Izuku turned to his sister. Hey Izumi, he said. Yeah, Izumi, she replied. Can you promise me something? He asked earnestly. What? She responded, curious. Promise me that no matter what, we will watch out for each other, that we will become heroes, and that we will always smile until the end. Izumi stared at her brother, determination shining in her eyes. I promise that we will watch out for each other, that we will become heroes, and that we will always smile until the end. He smiled back, reassured by her words. Yet, as they waited for the doctor to call them in, Izuku felt a strange unease settle in his chest, as if something was about to change in their family. A nurse called out, Can Miss Inko Yagi and her family come in? The doctor is ready to see you. Coming. Izuku, Izumi, let's go see what your quirks are, their mother said. Hi. The twins replied in unison, though Izuku couldn't shake the feeling that something was off as they walked into the doctor's office. The doctor greeted them. Yagi, I see that you have come here for the quirk test. Hello, Dr. Mizuno. Inko replied. That would be correct. We came to see my son and daughter's quirks. Okay then, can you two follow me and the lovely nurse to the back? The doctor instructed. Hi. The twins responded eagerly. After the doctor and the nurse took blood samples and x-rays from Izuku and Izumi, they were told to return to their mother. Both siblings were ecstatic to find out what their quirks were. After a few minutes, the doctor returned with files under his arm and looked at Izuku with a sympathetic expression. So, doctor, can you tell me what my two smiling sunshine got as quirks? Inko asked, her voice filled with anticipation. The doctor sighed. Okay, Miss Yagi, I have two pieces of news, a bad one and a good one. Which one would you like to hear first? Inko thought, how bad can it be? Please do not tell me that one of them has a problem that cannot be treated or that one of them is sick. She said, The bad news first, please. The doctor hesitated before saying, The bad news is that your son is quirkless. At that instant, Izuku dropped his favorite All Might figurine, and Izumi looked at her brother with a sad expression. Inko was shocked. That can't be. My husband and I have strong quirks. Yes, that may be true. But the X-ray says otherwise, the doctor explained, pointing at the X-ray. You see, one of his toes shows that he has two joints, and most studies say that people with two joints on their toes don't show any signs of having a quirk. Oh, okay, Inko said, trying to process the information. Now may I know what the good news is? The doctor smiled slightly. The good news is that Izumi has a quirk, and it is a strong one at that. It is called Stockpile Esper. It is a mixture of yours and your husband's quirks. It allows her to move things around while giving her super strength. The drawback is that she will get headaches and her body will be sore if she overuses her quirk. But I can be a hero, right, Mom? Just like All Might. Izumi exclaimed with joy. Inko's expression shifted from shock at her son being quirkless to happiness that her daughter had a powerful quirk. Yes, you can, Izumi. You can be a hero just like All Might. Izuku looked at his mother, who seemed to have forgotten about his diagnosis, and thought, Did she just forget about me? No, she is just happy that Izumi has a quirk. She will talk to me later, right? The doctor thought to himself, I need to get a new job. Thank you, doctor, Inko said, gratitude in her voice. You're welcome, the doctor replied, still contemplating his career choices. I really need a new job. As Inko left with Izumi in her arms, she forgot about Izuku, who was following far behind, trying to catch up to them. Time skip. Yagi's house. A man who resembled a party skeleton with blonde hair paced around the living room, worried about his family. The door opened to reveal a happy Inko and a joyful Izumi, alongside a downcast Izuku. How did it go, honey? The man asked. Oh, hey, Toshinori, Inko replied. Izuku is quirkless. Toshinori looked at Izuku with a sad expression, which shifted when he heard Inko say, but Izumi has a quirk and a strong one. What is it? Toshinori inquired, his curiosity piqued. Before Inko could answer, Izumi chimed in. It is called stockpile esper. It is a mixture of yours and mom's quirks. It allows me to move things around while giving me super strength. The drawback is that I will get headaches and my body will be sore if I overuse my quirk. Toshinori smiled, hugged Izumi, and spun her around, saying that she could be as powerful as All Might and that she was the most important thing to him. From now on, she would be training to become as powerful as All Might and the future #1 hero. As Izuku walked slowly to his room after hearing what his father just said, that Izumi was more important than him, he entered his room and lay down on his bed, thinking, they forgot about me. No, they will come to my room and make me feel better. As night fell, he sat hunched over, hugging his legs, tears streaming down his face. All he could whisper was, tomorrow will be the same as every day. This is only a one-day thing, right? But he was wrong about it being a one-day thing. It was just the beginning of his struggles. The next morning, as he approached the dining table, Izuku noticed only 3 plates set out. Why are there only 3 plates? Did they forget me? He wondered. He reached for an apple, but his hand was swiftly slapped away by Inko. What do you think you are doing? She scolded. Startled, Izuku replied, trying to get something to eat. No, you are not. This food is for Izumi, she needs it to grow strong. Got it? Yes, Mom, he replied, his voice barely audible. Okay, now go and wait for your sister to finish eating. Okay, Mom, he said, retreating to the corner of the room. Izumi's perspective. At school, I walked to my class, eager to talk with my friends, but a sense of dread washed over me. My brother's stubbornness about becoming a hero weighed heavily on my mind. I had promised him that we would always support each other. My thoughts were interrupted when I saw Katsuki Bakugo, Katsumi Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki, and Shoka Todoroki. Katsuki asked me about the quirks Izuku and I had received the previous day. Katsumi proudly mentioned that hers and Katsuki's quirk was called Explosion, while Shoto shared that his was half hot, half cold. Shoka added that hers was Ice Flame and inquired about Izuku's quirk. I got Stockpile Esper, I replied hesitantly, but... Oniai-chan. Katsumi asked what was wrong, and Katsuki pressed if something had happened to Izuku. Oniai-chan is quirkless, I admitted, my heart pounding. I'm scared he will get hurt if he tries to become a hero. I know he's determined not to give up on his dream, but I don't want him to get hurt. What should I do? Katsuki suggested using our quirks to scare him into giving up. I immediately rejected the idea, and Katsumi and Shoka also expressed their disapproval. Okay, if that's your choice, then let him face the consequences of becoming a hero, Katsuki retorted. Reluctantly, we all agreed to try to stop Oniai-chan before he got himself hurt. Despite an uneasy feeling in my stomach, I convinced myself it was for my brother's good. At the playground, Izuku sat alone under a tree, his stomach growling from hunger since his mother hadn't given him breakfast or lunch. As he stood up, I approached him. Oniai-chan, do you still want to be a hero even if you are quirkless? I asked. More than, he began, but before he could finish, an explosion from Katsuki sent him sprawling across the playground. You can't become a hero if you're defenseless. I know your new nickname is Deku. It stands for Defenseless Izuku. Katsuki shouted. Yeah, Deku. You can't be a hero without a quirk. Shoto added, encasing him in ice. Kaken, Shoto. Izuku protested. Useless Deku. Why did I even like you? Katsumi yelled, creating an explosion that broke the ice. What my brother said. Useless Deku. Shoka added, using her quirk to burn him while lowering the temperature to give him frostbite. I don't even know what to call you other than Deku. You are a disgrace to the Yagi family. I shouted, lifting him with my quirk and then punching him in the stomach, sending him crashing into a tree. Holding his stomach, Izuku murmured our names before losing consciousness. In class, I sat looking out the window, exhausted from the constant bullying. Something strange had happened to me. I could see a system that resembled a video game interface, but no one else could. The status window displayed my name, age, and various attributes, including a quirk called Gamer System. It felt surreal, like a game notification. I knew that if I told anyone about my quirk, they would just bully me more, saying things like, "How did a worthless reject get a quirk?" Or, "I bet your quirk is as weak as you." I was tired of their negativity. 2 years ago, at the park, I was being beaten up by my main tormentors: Izumi, Katsuki, Katsumi, Shoka, and Shoto. Parents and other kids just avoided the scene, ignoring my plight. As I lost consciousness, a screen popped up in front of me, indicating my constitution had increased by 1. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the darkness. The next day, I woke up to see a screen in front of me. I thought I was imagining it due to the pain inflicted by my tormentors. What is this? It looks like a game notification. Constitution? Isn't that related to physical defense in games? I pondered. Okay, think rationally. It says Constitution, so can I touch it? I tried to reach for it, but my hand went right through. Okay, so I can't touch it. How about if I think about it? I thought, and the notification disappeared. Okay, that works. If it's a game, how about status window? The status window revealed my name, age, and various attributes, including a quirk called Gamer System. I realized I had a quirk, but I wouldn't tell my family or anyone else. They had treated me like I didn't exist since I was diagnosed as quirkless, so I decided to keep this to myself. I thought about Bakugo's attitude and realized it had affected me. Despite the oddity of the situation, I was grateful to have a quirk. I hadn't used the points yet, not wanting to draw attention, but I had a lot of items in my inventory, including potions and a beginner's kit with various weapons and gear. Even some skills were available to me. Izuku Midoriya possessed an array of unique skills, each honed to perfection. His gamer's body allowed him to navigate the real world as if it were a game, restoring his health and energy with a simple rest. His gamer's mind ensured he remained calm and logical, immune to mental disorders. He could endure pain, detect bloodlust, sense danger, and gather information through observation. His abilities extended to creating and escaping instant dungeons, string weapons, and manipulating mana for various attacks and defenses. In the classroom, the teacher entered, carrying a stack of papers. "Today, we'll choose our career paths," he announced, throwing the papers into the air. "But we all know you want to be heroes, right?" The room erupted in cheers, students showcasing their quirks, except for 6: Izuku, Katsuki, Katsumi, Shoka, Shoto, and Izumi. The teacher reminded them, it's illegal to use quirks in public. Katsuki, full of bravado, declared, "Don't lump me and my group with these lesser students. We are the best of the best." His arrogance sparked anger among his classmates. "Do you think you're better than us, Bakugo?" one student challenged. "Yeah, you think too highly of yourself," added another. "You think we're lower than you?" a third chimed in. Katsumi retorted, "What did you say, you D-lister?" While Shoto questioned, "Do you really think you're better?" Katsuki sneered, "What was that, you extra?" The teacher intervened, "The top 5 are applying to UA." Katsuki and Katsumi responded in unison, "Yeah, the best school for the best." The mention of UA caused a stir among the students. "What UA?" one murmured. "Doesn't that college have an acceptance rate of 0.2? Another wondered aloud. The teacher smirked. "Oh yeah, Yagi, didn't you apply for UA as well?" The class turned to Izuku, laughing, except for 4 students who glared at him, including Katsuki. Katsuki exploded Izuku's desk in anger. What was that, you useless Deku? You're even worse than these D-listers. You don't even have the right to be in the same room as me, he shouted, approaching Izuku with mini explosions popping in his palms. Stop, Katsuki, the teacher ordered. Katsuki sneered. Even the teacher wants you to suffer, useless Deku. After class, as Izuku packed up, Katsumi snatched a notebook from his desk. What is this? She sneered, flipping through it. A hero notebook? You still believe you can go to UA even if you're quirkless trash. She destroyed the notebook and began to hit Izuku. Shoto picked up the remains and burned them. Useless trash. Do you think this will help you? Don't make me laugh. As Izuku endured the bullying, the tormentors eventually left. Katsuki and Izumi lingered. Izuku noted to himself, dexterity went up 1. Pain endurance leveled up. I'm grateful for the increase, but I really wish I didn't feel so much pain. Izumi remarked, you know there's a way to get a quirk. Shoka interjected, Izumi, what are you? Katsuki suggested cruelly, just jump off the roof and wish to be reborn with a quirk. Shoto added, hell, even I know that useless idiot is too cowardly to do that. Better if he just gives up. Katsumi scolded, idiots. We want him to stop becoming a hero, not kill him. Shoka shouted, what the hell, brother? Why did you say that to Izu? Izumi questioned, what did they say? Wait, why did we even go this far? As they left, Izuku retrieved an HP potion to recover. Don't they know that people will follow their advice? They almost got me killed. I'm down to 20 HP, he muttered, drinking the potion. They even burned my copy of the Hero Quirk Analysis notebook. Good thing I have the original in my inventory. Leaving the school grounds, he noticed Izumi, Katsumi, and Shoka at the gate. What do they want? You know what? I don't even care, he thought, activating his stealth ability. He walked past them without a glance, deciding to take a different route to avoid them. As he walked through an underpass, the smell of sewage filled the air. His danger sense flared, and he turned to see a green blob of sludge with eyes and a gaping mouth. Good, a nice meat suit, the sludge villain exclaimed, spreading to engulf Izuku. Izuku quickly activated his mana shield, but his earlier use of stealth had drained his mana, leaving him with only 2 minutes of protection. The villain paused. See, it's All Might. Stop there, you villain. All Might's voice boomed as he punched the air, sending a powerful gust that blew the villain away, leaving Izuku unharmed. Thank you, All Might, Izuku said, though he was confused. Really, Toshinori? You just attack without thinking about civilians around. But I have to ask this, can you please sign my notebook? Yes, young. All Might began. Izuku Midoriya. Izuku introduced himself. Midoriya? Okay, young Midoriya, All Might replied, signing the notebook and handing it back. All Might, can I ask you a question? Izuku inquired. Yes, what is it, young Midoriya? All Might responded. Can a person without a quirk become a hero? Izuku asked earnestly. I'm sorry, son, I can't let you become a hero, All Might replied. No, I don't believe that. A person without a quirk can still be a police officer or firefighter, Izuku insisted, turning away as All Might leapt into the distance. Chapter end. On a flight to the USA, Hisashi turned to Izuku. Okay, we have 2 hours until we land. Dad, can I ask you a question? Izuku asked, his expression serious. Hisashi noticed his son's demeanor. Yeah. Dad, why does your title say, half of Ifo, and your name is Hisashi, good, Midoriya? Izuku questioned. Hisashi sighed, his expression a mix of resignation and surprise. Diamenet. I knew you'd find out about that, but not this early. Izuku looked at his father with understanding. Sorry, Dad. When I bumped into you, I used my observation skill and saw your information and stats. If you don't want to tell me now, you can when you're ready. Hisashi managed a smile, his face lighting up with warmth. Thanks. By the way, can you show me my stats? I'm curious. All right, Izuku replied, but I'll need some paper and a pencil or pen. With a flick of his telekinesis quirk, Hisashi pulled a piece of paper and a pen into his hand and handed them to Izuku. "Thanks," Izuku said, taking the paper and pen. "That's a useful quirk." He began jotting down the information from his observation skill. "Right?" Hisashi agreed. "Most of the time, I use this quirk more than the others." Izuku finished writing and handed the paper to his father. "Done, but I have to say, this is too overpowered even for me." Hisashi's eyes widened as he scanned the paper. "Holy hell, that is broken. But I thought it would be more powerful than this." "I think that's due to my observation skill level," Izuku explained. "But compared to mine, it's broken." He started writing his own information. Hisashi rubbed the back of his head, contemplating the stats. "I guess." Just then, the PA system crackled to life. "Sir, we are about to land at the U.S. airport. We will have one of your assistants pick you up. Is that okay?" "Yes, thank you," Hisashi replied. As the plane touched down, Izuku gazed out at the stunning view of New York. "So, Dad, where are we going first?" Hisashi considered for a moment. "Well, son, we will go to your new house first, then to Midori Industry to announce you as heir and as the heir of King Technology." "Okay," Izuku agreed, "but can we go to the mall first to buy new clothes? I really want to change." "Okay," Hisashi nodded. As Hisashi went to check on the pilots, Izuku opened his status board and noticed a new notification. "New function unlocked. Store." "Huh, what does this do?" he wondered. He browsed through the store options, intrigued by the various items. The appearance changer caught his eye, costing 1. If he bought it, he would have 1,270 left, enough to purchase something else. The experience multiplier was also tempting, costing 1,200, which would leave him with only. "I'll buy both the appearance changer and the ring," Izuku decided. "Now I can change the way I look, and no one will know who I am." He mentally selected yes to use the appearance changer. "How do you wish to change your appearance?" "It can only be changed once. After that, you can only switch between your original and this new appearance. So I can only change between my new and old appearance." "Okay, I have to make it count," Izuku thought as he crafted his new look. "Okay, done." New appearance made. Does the user want to change into the new appearance? Yes/no. He selected yes again, and as the transformation completed, he admired his reflection. "Well, I totally look great. It also complements my toned body." Hisashi returned, looking puzzled. "Izuku, what happened to you?" Izuku explained, "I looked in my system board and saw I had a new notification saying I unlocked a new function, which was the store." "And that has to do with your appearance?" Hisashi asked. "The store sells items, spell books, and some skills, one of which was an appearance changer. So I bought it and changed my appearance to what you see now." "Huh, so are you permanently like that?" "Yes and no. Yes, it stays like this, and no, I can change back to how I looked before. Those are my only options." The PA system interrupted again. "Sir, we are about to touch land. Please sit and buckle your seatbelt." "You heard the captain. Let's sit and buckle up. We are about to land," Hisashi instructed. "Okay," Izuku agreed, fastening his seatbelt. As he sat, his thoughts drifted to his past, how he was diagnosed quirkless, neglected, bullied, and then meeting his father. Now, he wondered what the future held for him. "Dad, what will you do if they try to look for me in the States?" "Well, they can't do anything about it if I have your custody in a few weeks." "Okay, but I wonder how they will feel once they find out I ran away." "They'll probably start to panic and call heroes to find you." "Yeah, that's probably what will happen. Let's change the subject. Do I have to go to school, or am I going to be homeschooled?" "That depends on how your studies are." "Well, since my intelligence is high, I can get homeschooled, but I could probably skip all of high school since I've studied almost all my life. I believe I am at college-level subjects." "If that's the case, then once we get home, we'll have you take a full high school test to see if you can skip the whole 3 years." "Okay," Izuku agreed, looking out the window, wondering if they had discovered his departure and the letter he left behind. The day after Izuku ran away, Izumi woke up in her bed, excited for her upcoming birthday. She had recently learned that her parents were none other than All Might and Lady Magnet. I can't believe that my parents are the number 1 and number 5 heroes in Japan, she thought, getting ready for the day. I haven't seen Oni-chan since yesterday. I hope he didn't take Kaken's word to jump off the roof. He wouldn't, would he? Nah, I'll check later. As I finished my morning routine, I heard my mother calling from downstairs. Izumi, are you ready to go train with your father today? She asked. Yes, Mom. I'm ready, I replied enthusiastically. All right, sweetheart, eat your breakfast and head to Takoba Municipal. Her daughter, Katsumi, didn't you say you would marry him when you both grew up? Both Shoka and Katsumi fell to their knees, tears streaming down their faces. Nizu continued reading. As for you, Katsuki Bakugo and Shoto Todoroki, don't be surprised that I know you both love the same girl. And calling her a where? That's low. Shoto and Katsuki looked both surprised and angry, not just at the insult but at the revelation of their feelings for Izumi. Nizu pressed on. Now, let's talk about where I am. To be blunt, I'm done with all of this. Sometimes I wonder if my aunts and uncles really care about me. I haven't seen them since I was diagnosed as quirkless, and my life has been going to hell. The aunts and uncles exchanged looks of sadness and anger. Ray whispered, No, that can't be. He helped us with our marriage, and after losing Tuya, he believes we don't care about him. A small tear formed in Enji's eye. He helped me see that I was hurting my family. Aizawa, deeply affected, felt the weight of his care for his nephew. Nizu concluded, Finally, Izumi, my own twin, I can't believe you would go back on our promise. But what can I say? The damage is done. And to think that I loved you, Shoka and Katsumi. Oh, before I forget, the smell you felt is 10 years of burned and frostbitten skin combined with 10 years' worth of bloodied bandages. With frustration, he signed off, with hate, Izuku Midoriya. As Nizu finished, he turned to the 7 people in question, while Torino and Chio began to confront Toshinori. Rei, Narumi, and Mitsuki approached Inko and slapped her, saying, Look at what you have done. You made our nephew believe that we don't care about him. Nizu, scowling, addressed the group. Now what am I going to do with you 7? You will have to take the exam, your recommendations will not be approved. You will also have to undergo counseling from Hound Dog. He turned to Toshinori and Inko. As for you 2, while I can't strip your titles, you will have to work in quirkless civil centers for 5 years, and your payment at UA will be cut by 75%. You will also have to take Hound Dog's counseling. Do I make myself clear? Aizawa looked at Nizu as if he were crazy. They all remained silent. Nizu raised his voice. Did I say, do I make myself clear? The 7 responded, Yes, sir. Nizu nodded. Now let's go look for Izuku. As they walked off, leaving a broken family behind, Aizawa asked Nizu, I know you are smart, but why didn't you punish them harder? Nizu replied, I could have, but I believe it would be better if Izuku shows them that they made a wrong decision by neglecting and bullying him. He asked me to keep this private. He handed the paper to Aizawa to read the last part. P.S. If you are reading this, it means you were Nizu. Please don't read this aloud and don't show it to anyone but those you can trust. The note continued, I am going to be fine for a couple of weeks. I am moving to America to look for my Bardage father. I really dislike them, but I don't want to go overboard and ruin their lives. I don't want to be like them and destroy someone's dream. I will come back to attend you today, so don't worry too much because I have a powerful quirk. I just need to be far away from them. See you in 4 years. With love and kindness, Izuku Midoriya. Aizawa sighed. That's something he would do, and with a quirk at that. Nizu nodded. Now you see why I was concerned, but not like I would usually be. Aizawa agreed. Yeah, so now we have to wait for him to come back in 4 years. Nizu confirmed. Yes, now we just wait. Aizawa asked, so we don't tell anyone about this, not even the rest? Nizu replied, correct. Aizawa sighed. I don't get paid enough for this, but now I know I wish him well. Scene transition. USA Airport, New York City. Hisashi greeted his son warmly. You ready, son, for a new start? Izuku, smiling, replied, I am ready for what the future holds for me. Scene transition, USA Airport, New York City. Izuku stepped off the private plane, excitement evident on his face as his father chuckled at his expression. This is going to be my new beginning, Izuku said, shaking with excitement. Hisashi smiled. Yes, it will be a new beginning for both of us, with you here with me and not separated. Now let's go find our ride home, my son. Izuku nodded, smiling back at his father. Okay, Dad. Izuku's POV. As they walked through the airport, they noticed a man holding a sign that said, Midoriya, in English. As they approached him, Izuku's sense danger and bloodthirst detection skills activated, alerting him to potential threats. 3 alerts popped up in front of him. Bloodlust is directed at user. Bad intention directed at user. Quest found. Izuku thought to himself, a new quest. It has been a while since I've seen this. Usually, I only get the daily quests. Quest debut as future hero. Description, bad will is directed at you and your father. Stop it and capture the villain. Rewards. Future reputation increase. Random skill book. 5,000 EXP. 6 skill points. $1,200. Failure. People's death. Future reputation decrease. Level reduction, -3. Point reduction, -18. Do you accept? Y/N. Izuku felt a rush of excitement as he realized the opportunity before him. He could begin building his reputation at a young age. As he walked toward the person holding a sign, he activated his observation skill to scan the crowd for anything suspicious. He heightened his bloodthirst detection and sense danger to their maximum, trying to locate the source of any ill intent. The task was more challenging than he anticipated due to the sheer number of people around him. Frustrated, he whispered to himself, nothing. Meanwhile, Hisashi observed his son as they approached his personal driver. Izuku seemed to be searching for something, his eyes darting around. Is there something wrong? Hisashi asked, noticing Izuku's unease. Izuku smiled, trying to reassure his father. It's nothing, Dad. I just have a bad feeling, like someone is directing ill will at us. Hisashi, concerned, decided to activate his emotion sensor Quirk. To his surprise, he detected someone targeting them with bloodlust. He combined this with a locating quirk and quickly found the source. Turning to Izuku, he saw his son gathering energy around his hand, ready to act. Hisashi thought, let's see how this goes. If it gets out of control, I'll step in. I want to see how capable he is in this situation. Izuku pinpointed the source of the bloodlust near the entrance. He contemplated how to approach without alerting the villain and avoiding casualties. With a plan in mind, he gathered mana in his hands and activated his stealth skill, disappearing from sight. He then used his sprint skill to increase his speed, forming chains from mana to capture and restrain the villain. A new skill emerged, Mana Chain, capable of creating a durable chain from mana, and Bind, a skill to tie an enemy with a mana rope. As the villain struggled, Izuku demanded answers. Why are you after me and my father? The villain, unable to break free, shouted in frustration but offered no explanation. Izuku waited patiently for his father to arrive. 10 minutes later, the incident at the airport was resolved, and Izuku and Hisashi headed to their car. As they sat inside, Izuku reviewed the quest rewards, impressed by what he saw. The quest, titled Debut as Future Hero, was completed, earning him a future reputation increase, a random skill book, 5,000 XP, 6 skill points, and hidden rewards included capturing the villain unnoticed, without casualties or damage, a random item, a new weapon, and a special kit. Izuku pondered the contents of the special kit, eager to explore it once they reached home. His father, holding back laughter at Izuku's wide-eyed expression, revealed their new home. This is your new home, Hisashi announced with a smile. Let's go see your new room. Izuku, filled with excitement, followed his father inside. The house was incredible, and his room was beyond his expectations. Wow! This is awesome, he exclaimed, his eyes lighting up at the sight of the luxurious bathroom. Hisashi chuckled, leading Izuku to a hidden trapdoor in the floor. Come here, he said, stomping the floor to reveal it. You coming? Izuku, amazed by the secret passage, followed his father down. A hidden man cave, really, Dad? Hisashi grinned. What? It's what every man in the world would love to have. You can't say you've never thought about it. Reflecting on his past, Izuku admitted, with the failures of my past family, I wished for a lot of things. Sometimes I even thought hell would be better than that. Hisashi, determined to ensure his son's happiness, replied, I really need to find a way for Izuku to be happy and not let Inko or the Yagis take him away. Izuku, looking back at his father with a smile, reassured him, Don't apologize, Dad. It wasn't your fault. Because of them, I'm here with you. I have a new beginning, and maybe I'll meet someone I'll love dearly. Hisashi smiled back. Yeah, I don't know if that will work, but I'll need to talk with him and see. Let's get some takeout food, and then we'll go to the school to see if you can skip the next 4 years of high school. After that, we'll introduce you as the next heir of the companies. By the way, did you study company handling, money management, ciphering, computer coding, electronic engineering, and electric mechanics? Izuku nodded. I've learned money management, ciphering, and computer coding. I'm at an advanced level in those. I still need to learn about company handling and electric mechanics. Hisashi checked the time. It's 6:29 p.m. Let's get takeout and then get some sleep because we'll have a busy day tomorrow. Sure, Izuku agreed, heading for a shower. Can you please call me when the food gets here? Okay, Hisashi replied, watching his son leave with a smile, hopeful for the future. After a refreshing shower, Izuku remembered the quest rewards. Reflecting on the day's events, he felt a sense of accomplishment and anticipation for what lay ahead. Izuku sat with a mix of anticipation and nervousness as he received his first skill book. Most of his skills had developed through specific actions, making this experience entirely new. He selected yes, when prompted, eager to learn what the book held. Would you like to learn blacksmithing? The system asked. Blacksmithing? What does it do? Izuku wondered aloud. As he reviewed the new skills, excitement surged through him. The blacksmith skill was impressive, a passive ability that allowed him to create and upgrade items. He accepted the rewards, curious about what else awaited him. The archive sounds intriguing, he thought, reading its description. It granted the ability to use any power without drawbacks and evolve those powers to their maximum potential. That seems a bit overpowered, he mused, but he accepted it nonetheless. When asked to choose between contacts or glasses for the archive, he opted for contacts, considering them more convenient. I can't wait to try them out, but I need to eat and get some sleep first, he reminded himself. Next, he encountered Enkidu, the chain of heaven from Mesopotamian mythology. This is the one from the Epic of Gilgamesh, he exclaimed, accepting the reward. A burning sensation spread across his torso, marking him with the symbol of Enkidu. I must try this tomorrow, he decided, though he remembered he had plans with his dad. Then came the blacksmith kit, which could be upgraded to enhance his crafting abilities. This is just one piece of a larger set, he thought, feeling fortunate for the string of rewards he had received. After accepting the remaining rewards, Izuku leveled up multiple times, feeling a rush of power. He reviewed his new status, noting significant improvements in his attributes. I feel stronger already, he said, just as he heard his dad calling him for dinner. The next day, Izuku dressed in a red long-sleeved shirt with a black vest and tie, admiring himself in the mirror. Do I look good? He wondered, unaware that his father had entered the room, trying to stifle his laughter. Okay, Supernova, calm down or you might fall in love with yourself, Hisashi teased. Izuku turned, embarrassed. How long have you been there? Long enough to know if you look hot or not, Hisashi replied with a grin. Changing the subject, Izuku asked, Where are we going today? Hisashi smirked. Trying to change the subject, are we? We need to visit the high school board to see if you can skip 4 years. After that, we'll head to Midori Industry to announce you as the next owner of the company. Then, lunch, and finally, we'll go to King Technology to announce you as the next heir. Our ride should be here soon. As they walked out of the house, Izuku asked his father, Dad, how long do you think it will take us to finish? Hisashi replied, Depending on how fast you finish the test and how quick the traffic is, we should be done by the afternoon. Why? Do you need something? Getting inside the car, Izuku continued, Yeah, you remember the villain I stopped? His father nodded in acknowledgement. Well, I was given a quest, and I have some things I want to try out. Hisashi responded, Well, like I said, it depends on traffic and how fast the test is finished. The driver asked, Sir, where do you need me to take you? To Akamino High School, Hisashi instructed. As you wish, sir. I will make it quick since there is no traffic right now. We should arrive in about 16 minutes. Is that okay with you, sir? That would be wonderful, thank you, Hisashi replied. Isn't Akamino High the most elite school in all of America? Izuku asked. Yes, that's where you would go if you fail a year. So, in the instance you don't pass your final year subjects, you will have to take that year, Hisashi explained. Okay. After some time, they arrived at the school to meet the head of the Akamino school board. Izuku was mesmerized by the view of the school. This looks more like a castle than a high school, he exclaimed. Right? That's what I told the head, but he said. This is how it should look. It has always been my dream to have a castle, Arvin said as he approached Hisashi and hugged him. My old friend, how have you been? He then looked at Izuku. Who is this? Hisashi hugged Arvin back. Hey pal, I have been good. And this is my son, Izuku Midoriya. So this is who you were talking about, Arvin said, looking at Izuku again. You look different from what your father told me. He said you had green hair and emerald eyes. Well, this isn't how I actually look. Let me change back. Izuku activated his change appearance option, and his white hair turned forest green while his ocean blue eyes turned emerald green. But I don't like to look like this, so I stay with my white hair. He reverted back to his original appearance. But back to the main subject. Your father contacted me and said that you wanted to skip the 4 years of high school, right? Arvin asked. That is correct, Izuku confirmed. Then you will take a 5-hour test that combines all of the subjects from years 1 to 4 of this school. If you pass all the subjects, you will be able to skip high school. But if you miss or do not pass a year, you will have to take that year. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Now follow me and let's get the show on the road. Arvin started to walk towards the school. Later, as Izuku and Hisashi made their way to Midori Industry, Hisashi said, Zuku, in a few minutes, we are going to arrive at the industry. Okay, Dad. Izuku looked out the window, lost in thought. Why am I still thinking of her? He sighed. Is something on your mind? Hisashi asked. No. Yeah, it's just I don't know if I am ready to act in front of the people in the industry. Look, Zuku, there is no need to act like a proper adult. You're still a kid, so there is no need to act like one. Dad, can you wake me up when we get there? Please. Sleep, I will wake you up. In his mindscape, Izuku opened his eyes to see a grindstone skiing in matter and destroying it while simultaneously creating more. He noticed that his body was a spirit and realized the system had activated. A unique quest appeared, Quest, Primordial Soul. The description read, The soul is the strongest part of the body. You must go through the Primordial Chaos Divine Grindstone to strengthen it, 1 hour 30 minutes. Caution was advised, as the journey through the Primordial Chaos Divine Grindstone promised to be a painful ordeal, not for the body, but for the soul. The longer one endured, the greater the rewards. The Soul of the Divine King, an item from the shop, though it wouldn't work on the system upgrade. The Chaos Divine Grindstone Mindscape, 6 points. A skill book of increasing rank, $2,570, and 400 experience points. Yet, failure came with severe consequences. A crippled soul for 2 weeks, a reduction in level and stats, a locked mindscape, and a quest shut down for a week. The penalties were harsh, befitting the uniqueness of the quest. Izuku pondered the decision. The rewards were enticing, but the risks were daunting. This might be my only chance, he thought, steeling himself for the challenge. He accepted. As the countdown reached 0, Izuku was engulfed by a void and found himself atop the grindstone. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. As he was drawn into the center, the pain struck him with full force. He screamed, the agony echoing through his soul. 2 hours later, the pain persisted, though it had dulled somewhat. It's less painful now, Izuku realized, perhaps because my soul is growing stronger. He wondered how much longer he could endure. 3 hours passed, and by the 5th hour, the pain had subsided entirely. Floating in the center of the grindstone, Izuku decided it was enough. He chose to finish the quest. The quest, Primordial Soul, was complete. The description emphasized the soul's strength, requiring a passage through the grindstone to fortify it. Izuku was offered the rewards but decided to delay acceptance. For now, let's not. I think I should wake up now, he thought. Outside the mindscape, Izuku awoke to a breathtaking view. Dad, is that where we're going? He asked. Yeah, welcome to Midori Industry, Hisashi replied with a smile. Izuku marveled at the sight. I thought it would just be a building, not a whole tiny island city. Hisashi chuckled. What can I say? All of these are owned by Midori Industry, each with different specialties or departments. The island was an international trade center, constructed from pure steel and titanium beams, featuring bulletproof and fireproof glass, and equipped with the most advanced security systems. It also offered apartments with modern anti-spy systems to protect valuable information. As they approached the main building, Izuku admired its beauty. Hisashi, walking towards the door, remarked, "It still amazes me how much it has grown. You coming, Izuku?" Izuku turned to his father. Coming. Inside, Izuku was captivated by the interior. The receptionist greeted them, informing Hisashi that the board was waiting in the conference room. She then addressed Izuku warmly. Hello, Izuku replied. Hisashi requested an all-access pass for his son, and the receptionist, Beth, obliged. She asked Izuku to stand for a picture to create his pass. As Beth took the picture, Izuku felt his phone buzz. It was a message from Melissa. Are you texting someone? Hisashi inquired. Yeah, it's Melissa, Izuku replied, distracted. Hisashi smirked. Oh, your crush. Izuku blushed. It's not like that. Their conversation continued, with Izuku explaining that Melissa's father, David, would be joining them for dinner. Hisashi acknowledged they needed to wrap up their business. Beth handed Izuku his all-access pass, allowing him to explore the island freely. Thanking her, Izuku followed his father to the meeting. As they left, Beth mused, that kid is going to be like his father, kind and attractive, giggling to herself. Time passed, and the day continued. Hisashi led Izuku into the room, pausing to address him with a reassuring smile. Here we are, kid. This is where I'll introduce you as my heir. Just be yourself, no need to act overly professional. Some of them know the real me, and a few have a slow-aging quirk I gave them to work for me. Izuku sighed with relief. Thank goodness. I thought I'd have to act like a mature adult. Hisashi chuckled, turning to open the door. Hello, gentlemen. I've called this meeting to introduce you to my son and the next heir of this company. As Izuku entered, the board members greeted him warmly. The first member stood up. Hello there. My name is Jason Heights, but you can call me Jason. Another followed suit. Hey there. I'm Jack Rains, but just call me Jack. Hello. I'm Jake Knight, call me Jake, said the third. Good afternoon. I'm Sebastian Knight, Jake's older brother. Call me Sebastian, added the fourth. Hey. I'm Liz Saint, call me Liz, said the fifth with a friendly wave. The last member introduced herself. Hi. I'm Estelle Ballon. You can call me Elle or Estelle. Izuku bowed politely. Hello, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you all. Jason quickly intervened. No need to bow, we're in America, not Japan. Izuku rubbed the back of his head, embarrassed. Sorry, it's just a habit. Estelle smiled. Don't worry, your father was the same. It took him a while to stop bowing to us. Hisashi nodded, smiling as he rubbed his neck. Yeah, it took some time. But back to the meeting, does anyone have any objections to Izuku being the next CEO of the company and King Technology? The board members shook their heads in unison. We don't. Izuku glanced at his father, puzzled. Dad, Why did you ask them about King technology? Meanwhile, in another realm, Izuku pondered over Shield's determination to become a hero and her concerns about his rapid progress. He considered removing the ring that accelerated his growth but hesitated. Sighing, he resolved to deal with it later. He had crafted a ring for her, albeit with only half of his multiplier. Taking a black ring from his inventory, he mused how much it resembled an engagement ring, blushing at the thought. He returned it to his inventory and began searching for special undead to fight. Suddenly, a notification from the system interrupted his thoughts. Event announcement. A new event now. In this ID. Wait, this is the undead. Oh no! Izuku exclaimed, sprinting towards Melissa. Event, World of the Dead. Difficulty rank SS+. Description, this wasteland will be overrun by the undead. You must survive with your skills and determination. Trust your survival instinct. The event will end in 5 days. The fastest way to end this event is to kill the boss. Caution, all undead will be buffed, and spawns will increase. There will be unknown and rare types of undead. Caution, all party members will participate. Caution, all party members will have an EXP booster active. All EXP will be doubled for each undead killed. Rewards will be given for surviving or defeating the boss. Rewards, all party members. New physiology. Caution, this will change the appearance and body of the user and party members. Skillbook. Caution, depending on how many undead are killed during this event, the skill will be of higher rank. $2,570. Caution, depending on how many undead are killed during this event, the amount of money will increase. 6 points. Caution, depending on how many undead are killed during this event, the amount of points will increase. 1,300 EXP. Failure, all in party. Player and party will be trapped in ID for 2 days. Skills will be turned off for 3 days. Caution, this will also turn off the skills in the party. Level reduction, -9. All stats reduction, -60. Random inventory item will be destroyed. Random skill will be erased from user and one from party. Events starting in 008. Events starting in 007. Events starting in 006. Events starting in 005. This is really bad. I'm only 2 miles away. Screw it. Izuku muttered, using his skill. Skill used, space shift. MP, 390 of 510. That takes a lot of MP to use, but I need to get there. Events starting in 004. Events starting in 003. Events starting in 002. He shifted space, teleporting to where Melissa was engaged in battle. Melissa, what are you doing here? She exclaimed. Without a word, Izuku grabbed her by the hip and used the skill again. Izuku, what are you doing? She stammered. Events starting in 001. Events starting in midnight. As Izuku held Melissa, the sky darkened and the sun turned black. Event has started. Stay safe and survive. Good luck. What a sense of humor you have, system, Izuku thought. Skill used, space shift. MP, 270 of 510. That should do it. That was close. Good thing I made it. Can you please let me go? Melissa asked, blushing. Sorry, Izuku said, realizing he was still holding her. He released his grip. Why did you grab me suddenly? She asked. A new event started, and it's a lot worse than the last one I was in, he explained. What do you mean, event? She asked. Oh right, you haven't been in an event before. Events happen randomly, and depending on the ID we're in, the event is connected to it. Since we're in ID, undead, we're going to have undead spawning like crazy. How bad can it be? She asked, slightly scared. From what I saw, it was really bad. Let me show you. That is really bad, and we have to stay here or defeat the boss. The difficulty is SS+. This is going to be tough, she said. Wow, Izuku replied, surprised. What? She asked. You are calmer than I thought, he said. Do you remember that we share skills? I also have that slightly broken skill, gamer's mind, she replied. Oh yeah, Izuku said, scratching the back of his head. Now that we're in this predicament, Let me give you some items. He took out 4 items. What are they? She asked, tilting her head. If I remember correctly, you're going for the battle mage class. Here, this is your armor and sword. The armor is called Valkyrie of God, and the sword is named Evil's Punishment. Here are the stats. The Valkyrie of God armor set was a masterpiece of craftsmanship and power. The boots, forged from holy silver and the blood of a war god, granted the wearer immense movement and leg strength, capable of obliterating mountains with a single kick. The leggings, made from dragon scales and blessed steel, endowed the user with the leg power of a rhino. The arm guards, crafted from the blood of a holy god and an unknown or enhanced the user's arm strength. The chest plate, constructed from black steel and mysterious or regulated body temperature. When worn as a complete set, it increased damage to evil or dark beings by 83%. Wow, amazing! Where did you get this? Melissa asked, her eyes wide with awe. I made it with my blacksmith skill, I replied. The minerals were hard to find, and it took a long time, but I finished it. She hugged me tightly. Thank you, she exclaimed, then released me and glared. Wait, where did you get the holy steel, black steel, angel's feathers, and all the other materials? I quickly changed the subject. Well, here's your 3rd item. I'll let it slide for now, but we will talk about this later, got it? Yes, ma'am, I said, sighing in relief. The 3rd item is Nature's Blessing, I continued. What's so interesting about this bracelet? She asked. Check out the info on it. Nature's Blessing was a bracelet crafted by the Tree of Life and blessed by the goddess of nature, granting the wearer the authority of Gaia. It was unique and of the highest grade. She glared even harder. You will get it once we get out of this, and don't you dare run away, or it will be a lot worse. Got it? Yes, ma'am, I said, shaking slightly. Now, what is the last item? You've been saying that I've been leveling faster, so I made this for you to level up quickly too, but it only multiplies by 2, so it's half of mine. I blushed as I handed it to her. Melissa looked at me, blushing as well. This looks... I know what it looks like, I said. It looks wonderful. I wish he would. She blushed deeper. What was I thinking just now? Thank you. You're welcome, I said with a smile. Now I will go out for you to change, and I need to change too. As Melissa finished changing, I returned, clad in my armor, which featured 4 retractable wings. Wow, that looks awesome. What is the armor set? Melissa asked, amazed. It's the Angel Avenger set, I replied. Not going to lie, it's a good set, almost as good as my assassin set. What are the stats on the set? She inquired. I explained, the Angel Avenger set includes the Battle Angel helmet, which grants immunity to any type of gas, adjusts vision to any terrain, and adapts to the user's body. The Archangel's body armor offers immunity to any physical attack from evil or dark beings, increases the mana pool by 400, enhances mana regeneration, and grants 4 angel wings for flight. The Fallen Angel's leggings provide immunity to physical attacks from evil or dark beings. The War Angel's boots increase speed, sense everything within a 2-mile radius, and adjust to the user's body. Melissa glared at me. You have a lot of explaining to do, mister. Fighting angels, gods, and dragons. What else, demons? I thought to myself, I really shouldn't tell her that I fought Lucifer and Legion. I haven't yet, I said aloud. You are going too, she said, squinting at me. No, I replied, looking away. Melissa was about to say something when we heard a noise outside the building. I whispered. They are starting to spawn all over the place now. Let's go to the roof to see exactly where we are. You don't know where we are? Melissa whispered back. No, I admitted. I used space shift to get inside this building to avoid being caught in the middle of a whole undead horde. Okay, let's go, she agreed, then paused. You haven't shown me your weapon. Well, my lovely dear, this is my weapon, I said, bringing out a sphere. She blushed at the term of endearment. What is that? It looks interesting, I finished for her. Yeah, what is it? It looks like liquid metal, she observed. Well, it is liquid metal, I explained. This special item is my current favorite, Yaksim. It's a treasure that eats weapons. Every time it consumes a weapon, it can morph into the eaten weapon. Wow. When did you get that? She asked. I can't tell her I got it from defeating Legion, I thought. I got it from a mob drop. I'm not lying, I said. Okay, let's go, she smiled. Thank goodness she bought that, I thought. Let's go. As we reached the roof, the sight was both amazing and horrifying. The entire city was overrun by various undead. The sun was black, appearing as if it was spilling something. I turned to Melissa, who was equally amazed. Amazing, I said. Yeah, she agreed. We should look around, I suggested. Just as she was about to respond, an undead monster flew into the sky. What the hell is that? We both exclaimed. I used my observability, and it revealed, name, mutated undead goblin, age 120, title, Chief Scout, class, Flying Scout, quirk, none, race, undead goblin, level, 50, health, 1320, mana, 900, strength, 130, dexterity, 130, constitution, 132, intelligence, 90, wisdom, 30, charisma, 20. Look, holy cow, this is one of the mobs. I thought, turning to Melissa. Melly, be ready to attack. Remember, it's stronger than us, so make sure you deliver the killing blow. She nodded. Be careful. No need, I assured her, taking out Yaksim. I need to attack quickly so it doesn't call the rest of its group. As I began to transform Yaksim into Thanatos, I used my boot's ability to sense the entire area. Izuku stood on the rooftop, surveying the chaos below. The announcement wasn't exaggerating, he thought. The streets are teeming with undead, and some are perched on the rooftops, looking different from this one. He glanced at the flying undead goblin, then at his weapon, Yaksim in its Thanatos form, a gun blade forged by a smith. It was enchanted with death magic, capable of killing any living being, and equipped with import magic for auto-reloading. Vibration runes allowed the blade to cut through nearly any metal. Its damage was formidable, and it was a rare, B+ grade weapon. Here goes nothing, Izuku murmured, sprinting toward the undead. As he reached the edge of the roof, he spread his wings, feeling the armor's special ability activate, causing Thanatos to glow white. Nearing his target, he activated his stealth skill, rendering himself invisible just as the monster turned. The vibration runes on his blade hummed to life, and with a swift swing, he decapitated the monster. A blue crescent cut lingered in the air. A notification from the system appeared. He had defeated the mutated undead goblin, earning 800 EXP thanks to an active EXP booster. Good thing I removed my ring, he thought, descending toward Melly. I don't want to quadruple my EXP, tempting as it is. He noticed Melly watching him, her eyes filled with amazement and... That was appealing. Where did you learn that? Is it a skill? She asked, her curiosity piqued. That's a long story, but yes and no, Izuku replied. She looked puzzled. What do you mean? Well, Izuku began to recall his past. In a flashback, he entered an old antique bookstore, searching for weapon fighting styles. He noticed a stack of old books that seemed destined for disposal. Hello, is anybody here? He called out. Yes. Do you need something? The store clerk responded. I see you're about to throw out those books. Can I have them? Izuku asked, pointing at the stacks. Sure, take them. They've been on the shelf forever and are quite worn down, the clerk said, turning away. Izuku decided to store the books in his inventory for later examination. Later, in his training room, he donned workout clothes and examined the books. The clerk wasn't kidding about their condition, he noted. Activating his quirk, time control, he upgraded it to time emisu, allowing him to rejuvenate the book he held. It worked, he exclaimed. Let's see what's inside. The book offered to teach him moon sword art. Wait, this is a skill, he realized. Some books bestowed skills directly, while others taught techniques without disappearing. He chose to learn the art, feeling a surge of knowledge. Returning to the present, Izuku explained, and that's how I learned it. What about the rest? Melly inquired. You'll find out in time, he replied, sensing approaching enemies. Let's move, more are coming. As they prepared to leave, Melly noticed something on the ground where Izuku had slain the monster. Izuku, what's that? She asked, picking up a pendant. That's a devil's eye, he explained. It allows the user to walk among monsters and devils lower level than themselves. Higher level beings can see through the disguise. That's a valuable item. You should keep it, he suggested, turning to leave. Suddenly, Izuku halted, sensing a powerful, ominous energy approaching rapidly. What the hell is that? It's stronger than Michael, he exclaimed, his breath quickening. Its presence rivals my level, he said, turning to Melly. You feel it too, right? Why, she stammered. I think the armor is keeping us from passing out, but we need to leave. Yeah, he agreed, noticing the threat's arrival. It's here. A terrifying roar echoed around them. We need to go now. Melly shouted, panic rising. What is that? She asked, her voice trembling. Quickly, activate observe. We have to leave, Melly. We need to fly fast. Izuku urged, unfurling his wings. Hurry. Now I see why it said good luck. Melly was frozen in fear. I need to hurry. Izuku said, swooping down to grab her. He flew as fast as he could, the dragon's roars echoing behind them. Melly glanced back, realizing the creature was gaining on them. She considered using space shift but knew it wouldn't guarantee their safety. How are we going to escape this? She wondered, fear gripping her heart. Izuku glanced at his inventory and smiled. Yes, this can work, he thought, but then his gaze shifted to Melissa and back to his inventory. And this is going to get me killed. If not by the dragon, then by Melissa. But I need to protect her. That's my first mission. He grabbed 3 items from his inventory. Melly, he called out. Melissa looked at him, and he smiled at her. Melly, I need you to hide and protect yourself for 2 days. What are you saying? Melissa asked, concern in her voice. I'm going to do something that will most likely get me killed, Izuku replied with a smile. I will protect you no matter what. He gently moved her hair away from her ear and handed her 2 things. A connection to his quirk so she could use some aspects of the system, and an earpiece so they could stay in contact. The last thing he gave her was a kiss. You idiot, Melissa said, tears welling up. I will not leave you behind. You can't leave me, I Willisty. My last gift is a kiss to the one who made me fall in love, Izuku interrupted. I need to hurry. It's getting closer. He looked at her with determination. I love you. Then he activated his skill. Space shift, he whispered, and Melissa disappeared. Izuku stopped and looked back. Now I will deal with you, even if you are stronger, he said, glancing at both his hands. This is a weapon that Yagsim couldn't eat, Graham, the sword. Used to kill a dragon. It became a demonic sword that rivals Excalibur, and I have the demon crystal. He knew it would probably hurt like hell. The demon crystal contained the blood of a pureblood demon, and drinking it would change his physiology. As he drank, he felt his consciousness fading away. This is bad, he thought as everything went dark. To be continued. Melissa was furious. That idiot. He's going to die once we get home, she muttered to herself as she quickly tried to activate her sensory skill. However, it didn't work. Confused, she wondered aloud, what happened? Why can't I activate it? A voice answered her thoughts. User Izuku Midoriya planted a subsystem connection to his quirk but could not fully activate it. Subsystem? What does that mean? Melissa asked, trying to grasp the situation. User Melissa, any active skills are not available. Passive ones will be available, the voice explained. Is there anything else I need to know? Melissa inquired. User Izuku is undergoing a change in physiology. He needs to be asleep and protected from any outside interference to fully change, the voice replied. Fully change? Melissa echoed, her concern growing. User Izuku activated the blood crystal and has entered berserk mode, the voice continued. Melissa's heart sank. He said that it would most likely kill him. Entering berserk mode is a dangerous condition during a physiological change, the voice warned. How long does it take to change? Melissa asked urgently. For a user to fully change physiology, it normally takes 1 day. However, because user Izuku was under berserk influence, it will take 2 days. Any interference during the change will put user Izuku's life in a life-threatening condition, the voice explained. Is there any way I can help? Melissa pleaded. User Melissa is at a lower level than the monsters inhabiting this ID. During this event, user Melissa must undergo a change as well or level up to a higher level, the voice advised. Is there some other way? Melissa asked, desperation creeping into her voice. User Melissa must fly through all the monsters to reach user Izuku's cocoon, the voice replied. What sarcasm, Melissa thought to herself. But I don't know how to activate the change of physiology. User Melissa has an item in her inventory that can activate the change of physiology, the voice informed her. Is there anything else I need to know about the changing physiology? Melissa asked. Activating the change of physiology will alter the user's appearance, the voice stated. Melissa opened her inventory, noting its 6x6 slots. I thought Izuku said it was unlimited space, she mused. User Melissa has a subsystem, but user Izuku has the main one. User Izuku has more applications and functions than user Melissa's system, the voice clarified. She grabbed the only item in her inventory, an angel crystal. The description read, Angel crystal, a crystal that holds the soul of an angel. When the user breaks the crystal, they will undergo a physiological change. Holding the crystal, Melissa looked around, realizing she was in a forest. Do I have any sensory passive skills? She asked. No, but during your changing procedure, your cocoon will release holy energy, causing the surrounding monsters to flee, the voice answered. Okay, Melissa said, removing her armor. Just wait, Izuku. I will find you, so please be safe. With determination, she broke the crystal, feeling a warm and kind energy envelop her before losing consciousness. Meanwhile, in Izuku's mind, he felt himself slipping away. A voice questioned him, Why do you want to be strong? What do you mean? Who are you? Izuku asked, bewildered. Why do you wish to be strong? The voice pressed. Izuku pondered. My main reason for wanting to be strong was to show my family that I'm not the little crying boy I once was. Is that why you want to be strong? The voice inquired. Yeah, but I found another reason. It's her, Izuku admitted, an image of Melissa appearing in his mind. Is that it? You want to be strong for her? The voice asked. Izuku smiled. Yeah. The voice showed him memories of the day he ran away and found his father, the day his life changed, and the moment he met Melissa. She changed my motivation for being strong, he reflected. Now tell me, would you throw your humanity away for her? The voice challenged. I would throw my life away if I had to, Izuku declared. I think I know what you are and where I am. Tell me, who am I and where are we? The voice demanded. You can hear my thoughts, but to answer, you are the consciousness within the blood crystal. As for where we are in my mind, Izuku replied confidently. The voice laughed. You are not wrong about the second, but for the first, you are both wrong and right. I am the blood, but I am also you. The part of you that you want to get rid of, the part you don't want to accept. The part of me that I don't accept, but I do accept all of me, Izuku insisted. Do you? Do you know what I am? I am the darkest part of you, the one that had to accept the abuse, the part that had to give up even after we got the system, the voice taunted. Izuku struggled to forget the pain he had endured, yearning to forgive those who had wronged him. He knew he had to, believing he couldn't be a hero without forgiveness. A voice within him scoffed at the notion. You really think you need to forgive them to be a hero? This world is unfair. You've seen it, felt it. Everyone you cared about, your parents, sister, teachers, friends, classmates, turned their backs on you. Izuku responded, acknowledging the pain he hadn't forgotten. They had made him cower in fear until he discovered his quirk. He admitted trying to forget the pain but saw the truth in the voice's perspective. Yet he felt a connection with someone new, someone who changed his view. The voice challenged him, asking if he would reject or accept it. Izuku knew he had no choice but to accept, as the voice was a part of him. He couldn't erase or forget it. You've made your choice, the voice said. But remember, once we become one, your ideology will change. Are you willing to leave your humanity behind? Izuku accepted, but he had a question. What happened to me after I went berserk? You'll find out when you wake up, the voice replied, warning of the bind they were in. The system had informed Izuku that he needed to be asleep to fully change his physiology. The use of the demon crystal had created a cocoon around him, releasing evil energy that attracted undead and unholy beings. Izuku realized the danger. If anything interfered with the process, it could be life-threatening. The berserk influence meant the transformation would take longer. He asked if there was anything he could do. No, the voice said. The blood gave me consciousness and we need to fuse. The process will take about 2.5 days. Izuku understood the gravity of their situation. They had to hope Melly would come to their aid. As the other part of him touched his chest, he blacked out, hoping Melly was safe. One day later, Melissa awoke inside a white ember egg. As she broke free, she noticed her appearance had changed. Her skin was now a healthy pale, her blonde hair had turned grayish with blonde tips, and her eyes had shifted from azure to amber. The subsystem confirmed the change, explaining that Melissa now had the abilities and attributes of an angel. She reviewed her new powers, which included enhanced strength, stamina, beauty and more. Determined to find Izuku, Melissa closed her eyes to sense his aura. She detected 2 concentrations, one on a skyscraper and another underground, attracting monsters. The system confirmed that Izuku was underground, urging her to hurry as a mob of monsters would soon surround him. Armed and ready, Melissa took to the skies, flying toward the underground concentration. Upon arrival, she found herself fighting off waves of monsters. The system warned her not to enter the cave, as her presence could disturb Izuku's transformation. Frustrated by the endless waves of stronger monsters, Melissa realized the event had buffed all undead creatures. She recalled how Izuku had whisked her away without warning when the event began. Suddenly, Melissa sensed a surge of unholy energy. A monstrous minotaur appeared, radiating the power of a high-class mini-boss. The system confirmed its evolution, and Melissa's heart raced as she heard a loud boom from Izuku's location. Inside the cave, Izuku's cocoon released immense energy, causing the ground to tremble. The system warned Melissa that any interference could endanger Izuku's life and result in the loss of all powers connected to his quirk. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Melissa steeled herself for battle. She couldn't use her skills but relied on her passive abilities, swordsmanship, and Valkyrie armor to fight. As she prepared, an undead knight emerged from the army, drawn to the cave's energy. Melissa was taken aback. "It can speak," she exclaimed, her surprise evident. "Who are you, and what is your purpose here?" "I am Krytos, commander of this army," the creature announced with authority. "I sensed a potent evil and dark energy, and I longing it to grow stronger." Melissa pondered the possibility, realizing the implications. "Is that possible?" she asked. "Correct," the system confirmed. Undead sometimes consume each other to gain power and evolve, like the undead minotaur. It seems Krytos is the main mini-boss in this instance. "And why should that be a problem?" Krytos challenged. "I want that power, and when I longing something, I will obtain it. Move or become our sustenance. Is there any chance of me surviving this?" Melissa inquired of the system. "There is a chance. With your Valkyrie armor set, you have a 70% chance of surviving the army, but only a 30% chance against the mini-boss Krytos." "That's low for a mini-boss," she muttered, readying herself for battle. "It seems you have no intention of moving," Krytos sneered. "Then prepare to die." He commanded his army to attack. As the undead surged toward her, Melissa deftly dodged arrows and swings from the lower undead knights. "I have to defeat all these monsters and protect Izuku." Krytos, observing her strength, realized the threat she posed. "That human girl is dangerous. I must stall or eliminate her now, or she will become a problem later." He ordered the Minotaur to confront her as he advanced toward the cave. Focused on her goal, Melissa evaded attacks. "System, how many monsters are here?" There are 1,099 monsters and one mini-boss, the system replied. I can handle most of the ground monsters, but the aerial ones, wizards, and the mini-boss will be a challenge, she strategized, blocking a lance. Demenit. With determination, she blessed her sword, causing it to glow with a pure white light. H-eh, she shouted, unleashing a shockwave that blew away the surrounding monsters. You have defeated 50 undead walkers, 20 undead knights, and 30 undead hounds. Experience rewarded, 690. Multiplied by 2 once more? Oh yeah, the ring. She realized, her experience skyrocketing. Final experience rewarded, you have leveled up. Feeling invigorated, Melissa declared, now let's go. She turned back toward the cave, where the Minotaur and the rest of the army still loomed. Here we go again, she shouted, charging toward the undead horde. Is there any special skill in the sword? She asked the system. Evil's punishment. Special skill death to evil can only be activated by a holy divine being. It will drain the user's energy and mana, targeting any evil, dark, unholy, or undead opponents within a 39-meter radius. Okay, Melissa said, gripping her sword tightly. She blessed it once more and charged into the fray against the undead army. She slashed a knight across the chest just as a lance pierced through him. Moving swiftly, she dodged an arrow, then swung her sword in a rotating motion, cutting through the monsters surrounding her. She pushed forward into the heart of the army, attacking any creature in her path. Once she reached the center, she activated the sword skill, Melissa, Death to Evil. As she stabbed the sword into the ground, a white ethereal glow enveloped her, expanding to a 78-meter diameter. She watched as all the monsters stopped moving and began to disintegrate into ash, feeling her energy and mana being drained. You have defeated 50 undead walkers, 120 undead knights, 100 undead hounds, 35 undead riders, 70 undead carnivore birds, 5 undead priests, 50 undead lancers. Experience rewarded. Caution. Experience booster is active. Experience will be doubled. Calculating. Complete. Total amount of experience rewarded. 4979 experience will be multiplied by 2. That really took it out of me and most of the army is dead, she thought. Calculating. Complete. Final experience rewarded. You have leveled up 5 times. That was good. My mana is back to normal, but I still feel tired, she said, checking her status. Status. Name, Melissa Shield. Age, 13. Title, Subsystem User. Class, None. Quirk, Thun. Race, Angel. Level, 30. Health, 690/690. Mana, 690/690. Strength, 74. Dexterity, 74. Constitution, 79. Intelligence, 79. Wisdom, 79. Charisma, 74. Luck, 74. Points, 106. Money, 24690. Why am I physically tired? Leveling up should have made me fully recovered, she wondered. Answer. Death to Evil uses the user's energy and mana as well as their physical condition. Because you, Melissa, have just changed physiology, your body has not adjusted to the input and output of power, so the usage of the skill drained more energy than necessary. And you didn't say that at the beginning, she exclaimed, barely dodging a fireball. System, how many monsters are left? Answer, 160 undead knights, 70 undead hounds, 10 undead archers, 55 undead riders, 230 undead carnivore birds, 15 undead priests, 10 lancers, 19 undead wizards, 1 high-class mini-boss, 569 monsters left, and 1 mini-boss remaining. Okay, so there are 570 in total. Meanwhile, in the cave, the rhythmic beating of the cocoon grew more intense, the pressure mounting with each passing second, causing the walls to crack under the strain. Boom. Outside, Melissa sensed a surge of energy from Izuku's cocoon. Is he close to waking up now? Is this energy going to attract more monsters? Answer. User Izuku is 30 minutes from fully awakening. Your presence will not interfere with the change of physiology. As for monster attraction, All monsters within the area have already been drawn here. Okay, so no more monsters to worry about. She closed her eyes, breathed calmly, and touched the ground. I need to know where Krytos is now. She began to sense all evil and undead energy. Okay, found him. Opening her eyes, she saw the monsters surrounding her and attacking. Instinctively, she manifested her wings, using them as a shield. Good to know my wings can be used for defense. Now I need to take care of the rest. Her hand glowed. A pure white color. This will take out most of the knights, hounds, lancers, riders, and many of the birds, but the archers, wizards, and priests won't be affected. She spread her wings wide, pushing the monsters away. Now! She hurled the white light into the sky and brought her hand down. Holy rain! As the light descended, it impaled the monsters in the chest, disintegrating them into ash. You have defeated 80 undead knights, 50 undead hounds, 20 undead riders, 40 undead carnivore birds, 10 undead lancers. Experience rewarded. Caution, experience booster is active. Experience will be doubled. Calculating. Complete. Total amount of experience rewarded. 2,400 experience will be multiplied by 2. Calculating. Complete. Final experience rewarded. 4,800. There are still 80 undead knights, 20 undead hounds, 10 undead archers, 35 undead riders, 190 undead carnivore birds, 15 undead priests, 19 undead wizards, 1 high-class mini-boss, 369 monsters left, and 1 mini-boss remaining. Exhausted but determined, I soared into the sky, contemplating the challenge ahead. I can handle these monsters, I thought, but the mini-boss and Krytos will be the real test. As I ascended, I focused on manipulating pure and holy elements, envisioning a new creation. Stowing my sword, I mimicked the stance of drawing a bow, and soon, winds swirled around me, forming a bow of air. With a deep breath, I closed my eyes and sensed the presence of all the monsters nearby. There they are, I whispered, crafting an arrow of light with a backward pull of my left hand. Arrow Hunter! I released the arrow, confident it would eliminate the birds and other creatures, though the mini-boss would remain. Descending gently, I watched as the monsters fell, defeated. You have vanquished 80 undead knights, 20 undead hounds, 35 undead riders, 190 undead carnivore birds, 10 undead archers, 9 undead priests. The Minotaur catches the light arrow, which burns and explodes, obliterating its hands before they begin to regenerate. Experience rewarded. Caution, experience booster is active. Experience will be doubled. Calculating. Complete. Total experience rewarded. 2,400 experience will be multiplied by 2. Calculating. Complete. Final experience rewarded. 4,200. Darn, 4 priests and the mini-boss remain. This could work, I muttered, sprinting towards the cave entrance. I need to reach Izuku. Krytos is near him, but thankfully, he took the long route. My breath came in quick, heavy bursts. I'm slowing down, the sword's skill really drained me. Krytos stood there, feeling the surge of power. This will be mine, he declared. The energy I sense will be mine. I will ascend to godhood. Boom. The ground trembled as the cocoon's pulse quickened. With each passing second, more power is released. I must seize it before the floor collapses entirely. He leaped over the cavern, aiming for the cocoon, but swiftly dodged a light arrow. I thought my army and the Minotaur would delay you longer, I said, landing with ill-bred breaths. I guess I was wrong. Step away from that cocoon. Krytos demanded. But it seems they've sapped your energy. Move aside and I'll spare you, he sneered. As I said, that's going to be a problem. I unleashed my holy and angelic aura. I won't let you harm this cocoon. There's something inside I must protect. It seems I'll have to kill you, human. He summoned his great sword, grinning. It's been a while, hasn't it? Giant and dragon slayer. You'd be a formidable opponent if you weren't so exhausted. He prepared to strike. What makes you think I'm easy prey? I challenged, struggling to catch my breath. System, why am I more fatigued than before? Answer. User Izuku's cocoon is absorbing the surrounding mana and evil energy, concentrating it multiple times. This triggers your angelic instincts to erect a barrier, draining your energy. Kratos taunted, "What's wrong? Not attacking? Then I'll make the first move." He charged at me. I evaded his swing but was kicked in the stomach, sent hurtling toward the wall. Yet I managed to catch myself, swiftly channeling holy and lightning energy into my hand to form a mana arrow. Combining both elements, I launched it at Kratos. Mana arrow. Holy lightning piercer. The arrow struck Kratos' armor, causing it to crack and creating a thick smoke screen, obscuring us both. I quickly raised my defenses, trying to sense his undead energy, but was suddenly attacked from behind, crashing into the wall. Kratos had concentrated a high amount of mana and undead energy in his sword, slashing in my direction with a dark purple arc. Giant's decapitation. The attack struck my chest, embedding me deeper into the wall. "Now that you're dead, I'll claim my prize," Kratos said, approaching the cocoon. "Now let's be calm." Suddenly he screamed, Zich. Clutching his arm, he looked at where I was supposed to be dead. "How are you still alive? That attack should have finished you." "Heh, it seems I caught you off guard," I replied, struggling to stand as blood dripped from my forehead. Leaning on my sword, I continued, "My armor is the only reason I'm still alive. Even as an angel, decapitating me with that sword would have been fatal. Now I have to end you." I extended my hand, gathering all my mana and energy. Spinning mana arrow. Holy lightning piercer hunter arrow. Kratos thought, "An angel? I must kill her directly then." He readied himself to attack but halted as arrows materialized around me. Target lock. Now die. I closed my hand, and the arrows homed in on Kratos. He attempted to block or detonate them, but as he dodged, the arrows altered their course, targeting him relentlessly. "You think these pesky arrows can stop me from killing you? You're dead wrong." Kratos gathered a high concentration of undead energy into his sword. "Now fall. Dragon's wounds." He slashed the air, unleashing a large dark purple projectile that destroyed most of the arrows. "Haha, do you see now? Those arrows were not." He was pierced by 20 arrows. "How? I destroyed of them." As he staggered, the surviving monsters and the Minotaur approached. Kratos swiftly ran to the Minotaur and activated a skill. "I will not die." He seized the Minotaur's head. "You will be my power. Devourer." As the skill activated, the Minotaur screamed, vanishing into nothingness. "No, this isn't enough. I need more." He turned to the 4 undead priests. "They will suffice." He approached them, activating the same skill, causing them to disappear as well. Yes. Ha 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 ha. This is what I needed. He was enveloped in pure dark purple miasma. Yes, this is what I wanted. Dispelling the miasma, he revealed himself. Kratos glanced at me, struggling not to succumb to exhaustion but ultimately failing as I collapsed from energy depletion. "It seems I can grow stronger by devouring whatever is inside that cocoon, but first, I need to finish you." He approached me, summoning his sword once more. "Be proud, you nearly killed me. Now perish." Kratos was on the verge of impaling Melissa when chains suddenly materialized from ripples in the air. As he leaped to dodge, the chains ensnared his sword and then coiled around his neck, yanking him forcefully to the ground. More chains appeared, binding Kratos so tightly that he couldn't move. "What is this, human? Answer me," he demanded. Suddenly, a cracking sound echoed through the cave. Kratos turned to see the cocoon beginning to fracture. With a loud hiss, the cocoon split open, releasing smoke as a voice emerged. "I feel better now. Where am I, and where is Melly?" The voice's owner glanced at the unconscious Melissa and spoke coldly, "Looks like I found Melissa." He approached her, checking her vitals. "She's fine, just exhausted from depleting her mana and energy reserves." He turned his attention to Krytos, who flinched under his gaze. "Observe," he commanded. The details of Krytos appeared before him. Krytos, the undead commander, aged 130, a berserker knight with no quirks, stood at level 100 with full health and mana. His stats were formidable, but the man remained unfazed. "It seems you've evolved, monster," he noted, glancing at Melissa. "And it seems you need a break." He gently picked her up, carried her to his cocoon, and placed a pillow under her head before laying her down carefully. He then approached Krytos. "Who are you?" Krytos stammered, struggling against the chains. "You have no right to know that," the man replied in a demonic voice, releasing his dark energy. "You will die, but first I want to test this new physiology. But I don't want to disturb her, so I'll take you somewhere discreet." He circled Krytos, drawing a large magic circle. "Now let go." Activating the circle, a light enveloped them both, transporting them to an arena where the chains began to release Krytos. "Prepare to die. And don't worry, if I lose or die, you'll be free to leave." He assumed a battle stance, clad in assassin gear. "I don't know who you are, human, but you've made a grave mistake freeing me." Krytos summoned his sword and lunged at him. "Now die, human." "You are the one who made the mistake," the man retorted, countering with his daggers. As they clashed, he parried each of Krytos' attacks with precision. With a swift shift in stance, he launched a counterattack. Celestial School Dagger Arts, Celestial Scars. He struck with his right hand, only to be blocked by Krytos. In a blink, he vanished and reappeared behind Krytos, attempting a backstab. Krytos blocked it but was caught off guard when the man disappeared again, reappearing on both sides. Krytos managed to block one dagger but not the other. "You demon human, you will pay," Krytos roared. "We'll see about that," the man replied, activating his technique. Celestial School Dagger Arts, Celestial Death and Hell Flare. He dashed toward Krytos with incredible speed, seeming to teleport beneath him. His daggers ignited with black ethereal fire as he unleashed a barrage of strikes. Krytos struggled to parry them all but was overwhelmed, succumbing to a devastating 10-hit combo that brought him to his knees. Each strike further weakened his sword. How did I lose to a human? I was so close to becoming a god. If only that human hadn't interfered, Krytos lamented, looking up at his opponent. "And me now. You have defeated me. As you wish. Now rest in peace, demon killer." The man stabbed Krytos in the chest, watching as he disintegrated into dark ash. "You have defeated Krytos, the undead commander. Experience rewarded, 9,654. Caution, experience booster is active. Experience will be doubled. Calculating. Complete. Total experience rewarded, 19,308. 19,308 experience will be multiplied by 4. CRP, I forgot my assassin gear includes my experience multiplier ring, he muttered. Calculating. Complete. Experience multiplied. Final experience rewarded, 77,232. You have leveled up 20 times. I think that's enough for now. He noticed something where Krytos had fallen. What is this? He picked up a key. This is the first time I've seen a key drop. He placed it in his inventory. I'll check it later. Now let's go. He teleported back to where Melissa lay. As he reappeared in the cave, he stepped out of the circle and destroyed it. Approaching Melissa, he took out an elixir from his inventory and gently placed it on her lips. She drank it and he observed, "It seems you've also changed your physiology, Melly." "It seems I wasn't the only one who underwent a change," he added. User Izuku's physiology change has given the user's quirk a consciousness, allowing it to answer questions that the user has. Melissa began to stir and saw Izuku talking. "Is Izuku your back?" "Yep, I am." He stood up and opened his arms for a hug. Melissa got up and walked toward him, her hair covering her eyes. Just as she reached him, she unexpectedly slapped him with a burst of holy energy. "I deserve that," Izuku said, wincing from the impact. And that as well. He braced himself, fearing another hit. Oh no, not in our future family. That hurt like hell. Tears welled up in Melissa's eyes. You idiot. Why did you do that? Why did you teleport me away? I thought you would die. Sorry, love. I had to. We weren't ready to face the boss of this event, and you were underleveled. Even with your weapon and armor, you would have struggled. It seems the subsystem works, then. Yes, I can only access the status board, nothing else. System. There is a way to fix that. User Izuku must connect the Quirk system with user Melissa's subsystem, allowing her to access some of the functions. User Izuku can connect with the subsystem by touching the subsystem mark and by kissing her. That's one way, Izuku thought. Well, there is one way, but you would probably hit me. What is it? Melissa asked, tilting her head. Izuku blushed, embarrassed. I have to touch the mark on your neck and then kiss you. Melissa tried to process his words, blushing as she put them together. That, she murmured. What was that, Melly? Izuku leaned closer. I wouldn't mind it after all, you have already kissed me, she whispered. I can't hear you, he said, moving closer. Can you speak louder? I wouldn't mind it after all, you have already kissed me, she repeated, realizing what she had said and blushing even more. Okay. Izuku grabbed her hips, pulling her closer. He moved his left hand to her neck and leaned in, locking lips with her. The connection between subsystem number 001 and the main system had been successfully established. The host of subsystem number 001 now had access to various functions, including the skill board, inventory, status board, skill share, party message, and notification board. Additional functions would become available as Izuku unlocked them. Izuku could also view any notifications from the subsystem, and if the host of any subsystem was in danger, he would be alerted. The host of subsystem number 001 could now utilize any skill, with most of Melissa's skills being transferred and some evolving into new ones. Izuku turned to Melissa, who was blushing furiously. Melly, did you get the system notification? You can use all of your skills now, he exclaimed, gently shaking her out of her daze. Why, Izuku, Melissa stammered, her cheeks still flushed. Can you check your unread messages and see if you can use the subsystem functions? Izuku asked. Okay, she replied, opening her notification board. That's strange. What is it? Can't you use the functions? Didn't you get the notification? Izuku inquired. No, I got the notification, but I also have one saying I leveled up 10 times, Melissa explained. That must be from Krytos. I did defeat him, Izuku said. Oh, right. So, what do we do now? Melissa asked. Well, we could go after the dragon to end this event faster, but... Izuku hesitated, looking at her. It's going to be a hard and risky task. And what's the alternative? Melissa asked. We could try to survive for 3 more days, but I doubt the dragon would come here. Plus, the dragon is stronger than both of us, Izuku replied. By how many levels? Melissa asked. If I remember correctly, it's 44 levels above me and 65 above you. But there's a silver lining, Izuku said. And what's that silver lining? Melissa asked curiously. I remember everything that happened during my fight against it when I was in a berserk state. I had Graham with me, and I activated Graham's sword skill, he explained. And what did you do? She asked. The sword skill that Graham has is effective against dragons and is amplified if a demon or devil activates it. The skill drains the dragon's life every 25 minutes and has its power, ability, and speed. But because I activated it while in berserk and was turning into a demon, the skill was amplified to every 30 seconds. So the dragon is slowly dying. Activating it as a demon adds a paralyzing poison, making the dragon freeze at any moment. Plus, with its power, ability, and speed halved, it gives us a good chance to attack it, Izuku explained. Is there anything else? Melissa asked. While in berserk, I might have stabbed my sword into the dragon before being swatted away and landing here, Izuku admitted. So the sword is the other reason? Melissa asked. Melly, please, let's attack it. I'll let you do anything to me after we leave, he gulped. You'll have to keep your word. So, should we go now? Melissa asked. Wait, I need to grab something from my inventory, Izuku said, retrieving a spear. Here. What is it? Melissa asked. Melly, you have observation now, Izuku reminded her. Oh yeah, Longinus, the spear that was used to kill any god. Any god impaled with this weapon will be killed. This weapon was lost in time. No one has been able to find it. It has a chance of instantly killing any opponent. Unique function, can stretch or shrink to the wielder's will. Damage, rarity, legendary. Grade, damage, plus 700. If the opponent is a god or divine being. Spear skill, fall from godhood. Is capable of being soul-linked, Melissa recited. Glaring at Izuku, she asked, Where did you get this? I still haven't forgotten about the armor and that little stunt you pulled yesterday, she said with a smile. Sweating nervously, Izuku thought, how is she so terrifying, and I'm higher leveled? Can we forget that for now? After all, you'll be able to do anything to me after we leave. Should I put all my points index to survive? Okay, Melissa said, grabbing Longinus and putting her sword in her inventory. Let's go. She walked toward the cave exit. Following her, Izuku said, I know where it is, so I'll lead the way after we exit. Okay. The battle was fierce. How could this be just an SS plus rank event? But what could I say? We leveled up significantly, and I still forgot to turn off my EXP multiplier. Oh, Melly was mad. I just remembered. She's going to be furious with me after we get out of here. But let's forget that for now. Checking his notifications, Izuku thought, let's see what I got. Monster drops, 2,400 dragon scales, 2 eyes of the undead dragon, 4 dragon eyes, 40 claws of a dragon, 20 undead dragon claws, 56 dragon teeth, 28 undead dragon teeth, 3 blood veils of the undead dragon, 1 transcendent stone, 4 skill books. Key, 2 eggs, 1 dragon soul crystal, 2 dragon corpses, 1 undead dragon corpse. Dimin, that's a lot of items. But it's good that I got Graham back. Event announcement. Melly, come here. We're about to leave. Coming, she said, walking toward Izuku and grabbing his arm. Event, World of the Dead has been completed. Now all rewards for surviving will be awarded. Rewards, all party members. New physiology. Caution, this will change the appearance and body of the user and the party members. Physiology function unlock. Skillbook. Caution, depending on how many undead are killed during this event, the skill will be higher rank. $2,570. Caution, depending on how many undead are killed during this event, the amount of money will increase. 6 points. Caution, depending on how many undead are killed during this event, the amount of points will increase. 1,300 EXP. All players are now allowed to leave. Melly, let's go now, Izuku urged. Yeah, I need a bath, she replied. As Izuku activated ID escape, the sky began to crack and break, transporting them to the backyard of his house. Home sweet home, he said, attempting to leave but unable to move because Melissa was holding on to him tightly. Is something wrong, Melly? He asked. Smiling sweetly, she asked, Where do you think you're going? Internally screaming, Izuku thought, I'm going to die. Still smiling, she said, Now take me to your room. We will have a nice long chat. To be continued. 3 years had passed since I last saw my father in the USA. Now, I found myself at the airport with my fiancée, waiting for our flight to Japan. You might wonder why I was returning before UA began. My father needed someone to attend a meeting with Japan's most influential family, the Yayorozu. But that's a story for another time. Let's revisit what happened 3 years ago. It had been a month since my punishment, and I had learned a valuable lesson: never, ever make a woman angry. The memory of what she did still sent shivers down my spine. But that was beside the point. I was lying in the living room with Melly. We hadn't ventured into an instant dungeon since the incident. Our relationship had grown closer, though we weren't officially dating yet. I planned to ask her out soon. We were examining the items and skill books I had acquired, along with a new feature, the physiology functions. It allowed us to transform completely, altering our appearance and body functions. It granted us the perks of our chosen physiology, like Mel's and mine. Angel abilities. Enhanced/supernatural strength. Enhanced/supernatural stamina. Enhanced/supernatural beauty. Enhanced/supernatural durability. Halo generation. Wing manifestation. Pure element manipulation. Telekinesis. Semi-immortality. Healing. Demon abilities. Enhanced/supernatural strength. Enhanced/supernatural stamina. Enhanced/supernatural beauty. Enhanced/supernatural durability. Horn/tail manifestation. Dark element manipulation. Shadow embodiment. Weapon creation. Corruption. We discovered that while we could change our physiology, we didn't revert to our previous appearances. We remained human but exuded the aura of our current form. When I shifted to a demon, my ears became pointed like an elf's, returning to normal when I was human. I now had 7 hearts, which felt surprisingly comfortable. My mana pool expanded in my demonic state, and my magic was more potent, though I could still wield it as a human, albeit less effectively. Mel's appearance remained unchanged, but her aura was calmer, more mature, and holy. She looked stunning in both forms. However, the attention she garnered from other men irked me. I understood their interest but wished they kept their thoughts to themselves. Occasionally, I released a bit of my demonic aura to ward off unwanted gazes. I also examined the dragon eggs I had acquired. They were monster eggs, and their description intrigued me. Monster egg, dragon. The eggs require energy to hatch. The type of energy provided determines the dragon's element. For instance, if given fire and lightning energy, the dragon will possess both elements. The monster's appearance also depends on the energy given. When I showed Melly, her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Will you give me one?" she asked eagerly. I assured her I had 2 and intended to give her one. She danced around the living room, and I promised to hand it over later. After that delightful moment, she inquired about entering another instant dungeon. I explained that we needed to focus on mastering our powers and energizing the eggs. 2 months later, Izuku sat alone in his room, staring at 3 keys he had forgotten to examine. "I totally forgot to check these keys and what they were," he muttered to himself. Observe. Key. This key opens a gate to a unique dungeon where the user receives a quest to obtain a new class or job. Further details are provided upon entry. 1 person only, 1 use only, rank S. Ogre's Cave. This key opens a gate to the Ogre Cave. 1 use only, rank D. System, is there a difference between an instant dungeon and a gate? What is a gate? Izuku asked. Answer. Yes, there is a difference, but I must warn you before you use the key, user Izuku. Okay, what would that warning be? He inquired. Answer. Upon using the keys, the world will change. Unlike your instant dungeons, monsters that spawn in that world cannot escape from that ID. However, using the keys to open a gate will release mana into the world, allowing other gates to appear naturally. Additionally, humans will evolve once again. They will be born with quirks as well as mana, enabling them to awaken skills beyond their personal quirks. But if a gate is not closed within 1 week of its appearance, it will break, and the monster inside will be able to escape and invade this world. Is there any benefit from using the keys? Izuku asked. Answer. There are benefits inside any gate. There are crystals, minerals, and special items that anyone can obtain. Any of those things are beneficial, but there are risks. Izuku grabbed a notebook and began jotting down the conversation. Can I know the risks? He asked. Answer. There is a rank system that follows the gates, from E to SSS, with E being the weakest that any current sidekick can defeat. SSS is the strongest, where the top 10 heroes around the world would have an 85% chance of beating the gate. What rank can I complete at my current level? Izuku questioned. Answer. User Izuku has a 50% chance of beating an SS rank gate solo. However, if user Izuku teams up with user Melissa, the chance increases to 98%. Are there hidden things within those gates, and how do you defeat a gate? Izuku continued. Answer. There are special stones and crystals that can be made into weapons, such as your flame spirit sword. The only way to beat a gate is to defeat the boss inside it. The gate will close within 2 hours upon defeating the boss. The minerals, crystals, and stones can only be broken with a special metal found in an E-rank gate. Some special gates will close upon entering, and nobody will be allowed to enter or leave. They may seem low rank but will completely send anyone who enters them to a different dimension. If anyone enters those types of gates, they will either have to wait from 3 weeks to 2 months or defeat the boss. These types of gates have stronger bosses and monsters, time moves much slower there, and the conditions can get extreme. Izuku sat at his desk, diligently scribbling notes in his notebook. "That sounds bad," he murmured, his pen never pausing. "Is there any other way to close or enter those types of gates? How can you tell the rank of a gate, as well as the difference between special and normal ones?" The response came swiftly. User Izuku possesses a space shift skill that will allow only him to enter. There are no ways of closing a special or normal gate other than defeating the boss. Special gates can be distinguished by their red color after entry. An item can be crafted to aid in this, but the necessary materials are found in an E-rank gate. Izuku pondered this information. Are there any downsides to opening them? Some individuals may enter a shutdown state due to a disease. They won't die but will remain in a vegetative state. That seems bad, Izuku noted. Is there any way to cure that disease? Yes, the ingredients are located in Korea and China, but there's only a 47% chance of recovery. Your elixir has a 57% chance to cure the disease. Who will be affected by the disease? The elderly between 60 and 70, and adults with low defenses who cannot adapt to mana. Izuku considered the implications. Is there any way to prevent the disease from infecting people? Yes, if you gather the ingredients and add mana to create an injection, those injected will be able to accept and adapt to mana, preventing infection. How many ingredients do I need to cover the whole world? A 20-year supply of ingredients is needed to cover the entire world population, but it's unknown who will adapt and who won't. Izuku finished writing and closed his notebook. I will use this information. Once the gates start to appear naturally and the disease begins to spread, I'll need to talk to the government. For now, I'll keep it low-key. Now, let's look at the last key, Minerals Oasis. This key will open a gate with monsters made of minerals, ores, or metals. One use only, rank S. He smiled at the thought. That means I can get new metals and ores. I can use them to gain experience for my blacksmith skill and level up my blacksmith title. He glanced at an item in his inventory. Dragon Soul Crystal. It seems like I have a new physiology, but I won't use it now. I think I should use it in a weapon or unlock a new one, but that's for future Izuku to worry about. Time skipped to 4 months later. It's been a few months since I reviewed the keys, and I've been contemplating using one soon. Right now, I'm in a car driving to the court, and my dad seems unusually happy. Dad, why are we going to the court? I asked, curious. Hisashi smiled. Well, Izuku, I have a surprise that will make you happy. I couldn't help but wonder, what is this surprise that will make me happy? Dad, quick question, I said, a mischievous smile playing on my lips. Hisashi glanced at me. Yeah, Izuku? Are you ever going to get married again? He choked on his spit, clearly taken aback. Where did you get that idea? I maintained my innocent demeanor. Well, you made my life better, and I want you to be happy as well. I smiled sweetly, enjoying my natural ability to appear so innocent. Hisashi blushed. Haha, but who would want to be with me? I replied sweetly, well, I sometimes see our receptionist Beth looking at you, and I can also sense your emotions change when you're close to her. Hisashi seemed flustered. How can he sense my emotions around her? He thought. Well, I have to find an escape. He looked out the window. Oh, look, we've arrived at the court. Thank God. We arrived, I thought. You still will have to answer later, you know that. Hisashi chuckled. I don't think so. Well, I'll have some fun playing Cupid. After all, I can sense how Beth feels around you too, and I genuinely want to make you happy. After all, You did change my life for the better. Change scene. Inside the court, the judge greeted us. Hello, Mr. Midoriya. Hisashi bowed respectfully. Hello to you as well, Judge. You called this meeting with me because… Hisashi took a deep breath. I called today's meeting because I would like to take full custody of my son, Izuku Midoriya. The judge looked at him seriously. You know that will be difficult if you don't have any evidence to support your claim. I was surprised. Wait, Dad wants to gain custody of me? Hisashi nodded. That is true. He seemed to be searching for a solution. Then, what can I use? I can't use my memory-sharing quirk to show him Izuku's memories because it will make others believe that I forged the memory. Sensing my dad's rising anxiety, I spoke up. Sir? I called the judge's attention. I looked at my dad and then back at the judge. I can show you my memories directly, but I must warn you that any feelings and emotions I had during that time, you will feel them. May I know your quirk before we start? The judge considered my request. Well, I can tell you because you are Hisashi's son, but you cannot tell anyone. Okay, I agreed. Thanks to your father, I have the fortitude quirk that allows me to fortify any part of my body, even my mind. That will work. I will now show you my past, and as I said before, you will feel what I felt. I activated my skill. Memory Soul Skill Share activates. A few minutes passed, and the judge began to show signs of bruises appearing on his face, with some blood trickling from his nose. I quickly pulled him out of my Memory Soul skill. The judge coughed, looking shaken. What was that? That felt so real and painful. That was a skill I learned from a special book I found in an old library, I explained. That is true, I did find it in one of the stacks of old books the library was discarding. I handed him a potion. Take this, it will heal you. And before you ask, I made it. I learned to make it from a book that I will not show to anyone. The judge took the potion and drank it, visibly recovering. Thank you. I feel much better, and I am sorry for what you went through. There is no need for your apologies, but are you okay? I believe you experienced 3 years of my life. Yes, I am okay. He turned to Hisashi. Well, it seems I now have proof to grant you full custody of Izumi Yagi Midoriya. I looked at my father. Dad, can you do something for me? Hisashi met my gaze. What is it, Izuku? Well, if the judge allows it and with your approval, can I change my name to something else? Hisashi looked at the judge. Can he? The judge informed Hisashi that Izuku could proceed with the name change, but only with Hisashi's approval as his guardian. Hisashi turned to Izuku, asking what name he intended to adopt. Izuku confidently replied that he wished to be known as Izuku Shigaraki Midoriya. Hisashi, pondering the implications, asked if Izuku was certain about his choice. Izuku smiled and confirmed, yes, Izuku Shigaraki Midoriya. That will be my name. The judge then declared that Hisashi Midoriya was now the legal guardian and father of Izuku Shigaraki Midoriya. Hisashi thanked the judge and looked at Izuku, expressing his joy that Izuku was now legally his son, free from Inko's claims. Hisashi felt a profound happiness, and Izuku sensed his father's emotions, feeling liberated himself. He was now the son of Hisashi Midoriya, not Toshinori Yagi. In the present timeline, Melissa called out to Izuku, reminding him that their plane was waiting and asking if he had food for their pets, Sarah and Ryu. Izuku assured her that he had the food in his inventory and inquired if she had her passport and ID, recalling a past mishap in Jamaica. Melissa pouted, reminding him that he had forgotten their wedding ring in the bathroom during that trip. They laughed it off, and Izuku asked if she had her hunter ID. Melissa confirmed she did and inquired about Ryu, who was still asleep from using his full dragon's breath. Izuku noted that both owner and pet shared similar reckless traits, to which Melissa sighed, acknowledging the similarity. As they walked toward their private plane, Izuku reflected on the trouble he had caused for the government 2.5 years ago. He remembered contemplating the use of keys that could cause a disease in adults unable to adapt to mana, leading to a vegetative state. The cure was simple but time-consuming without his or Melissa's help. Izuku considered sneaking into a laboratory to leave the formula for mana adaptation or giving it to David to take credit for the cure. He decided to let the government handle the gates while he focused on his new job. Izuku resolved to use the job key, aware that it would change the world by opening gates and introducing mana. He accepted the challenge and found himself outside a massive castle filled with monsters. A quest appeared, tasking him with eliminating the monsters and reaching the throne room, with significant rewards and dire consequences for failure. As Izuku approached the castle, he was attacked by archers. He shielded himself with his wings, pulling out arrows that pierced him. Realizing the archers had reloaded with magical arrows, he transformed Yagsim into a weapon and took to the sky, unleashing a powerful black arrow that rained down upon his enemies. He defeated numerous archers and knights, gaining experience and activating auto-looting to collect valuable items. Determined, Izuku pressed on toward the castle, aware that the mage had survived and was hiding. The adventure continued as he prepared to face the challenges within. Izuku dashed through the castle, daggers in hand, skillfully dispatching knights as he made his way toward the throne room. He spotted it at the top of the stairs, heavily guarded by two massive tank knights. Good thing I activated auto-looting, Izuku mused to himself. This knight killer really lives up to its name, an extra 20 damage to knight-type monsters and classes. I fed it to Yagsim, and I've noticed that the more I feed Yagsim, the stronger it becomes. The weapons it consumed in the past have either leveled up or fused with others. As he sprinted toward the throne room, the two tank knights moved to block his path. Izuku paused to assess them. Throne Hall Guard, he observed. Age, 100, title, Trusted Guard of the King, class, Tank Knight, level, high strength and dexterity, but no quirk. Strange that they don't speak. Izuku stopped at the foot of the stairs, facing the guards ready to prevent his entry. He advanced slowly, but one guard lunged at him. Izuku quickly activated his mana shield to intercept the massive maul hammer aimed at him. The shield absorbed the blow but couldn't stop the force, sending him crashing into the wall. The second guard appeared above him, hammering down on the shield, which began to crack under the relentless assault. This is bad, Izuku thought. I need to think fast. He transformed his weapon into a 4-section staff. This has to work. Activating Sin mode, Greed Yagsim, Izuku felt a dark red aura envelop him. Good thing I discovered this mode earlier, he thought. Sin mode alters my abilities and personality to match one of the sins. Greed makes me crave more, draining MP, stamina, strength, and energy from the surroundings, transferring it to me. The guard's assault slowed, and Izuku stood, deactivating his mana shield. He struck with his staff, sending the guard flying into the wall, shattering his armor. He ducked to avoid the second guard's maul, sweeping his legs to bring him down. Just as Izuku prepared to finish him, a war hammer struck his side, hurling him into the opposite wall. That hurt. I lost almost 25% of my HP, Izuku exclaimed, noticing the armor healing. How is that possible? You're a knight, not a mage. Scanning the room, he found no trace of wizards or mages. How are you still alive? He activated a skill, Hunter's Fang, and charged at the guards. Die. As he attacked, a black glow enveloped the guards, teleporting them to either side of him. Their weapons swung toward him, and Izuku instinctively stored his staff, gathering mana in his hands to defend. As their weapons struck, he enveloped himself in dark red lightning. Corrupt under the eyes of heaven. Lightning Hellstrike, he shouted, unleashing the lightning on both guards, sending them crashing beside the throne room, their bodies blackening as they fell. You have defeated 2 throne guards. The XP rewarded, 6,000. Auto-looting. 1 corrupted war hammer, 1 skill book, $2,340, 1 lifesaver crystal. Lifesaver crystal? That must have saved the first guard from dying, Izuku thought, examining it. Lifesaver crystal, a crystal that breaks when the user is near death, healing them instantly. 1 use only. That's useful, he remarked, storing it in his inventory. He turned to the throne room door. Time to finish this quest and get a new job/class. He paused, checking his HP and MP. I can't enter like this. HP, 1445/5780. MP, 3470/6940. I took a lot of damage, 75% of my HP and 50% of my MP. Good thing I'm in greed mode, it could have been worse. But I don't need it now. He deactivated Sin mode. Glad my personality didn't change much. He retrieved a large elixir. Bottoms up. He drank it, feeling rejuvenated. That feels good. He checked his stats. Back to 100%, and my energy is recovering fast. He approached the door, opened it, and entered. This is a cool room. Why hasn't the quest completed? Suddenly, a sound caught his attention. Izuku turned to see a red knight standing before the empty throne, descending the stairs with his sword dragging behind. He activated his observation skill. Name: Igris the Red Knight. Age: 170. Title: Most Trusted Knight of the King, the Red Knight. Class: Knight Commander. Level: 110. Health: 2,870. Mana: 2,770. Strength: 289. Dexterity: 275. Constitution: 287. Intelligence: 277. Wisdom: 278. Charisma: 253. He's going to be a challenge, Izuku thought. He's 54 levels above me with significant power. Igris halted at the bottom of the stairs, pointing his sword at Izuku, ready to attack. And they say chivalry is dead, Izuku remarked, suching his weapon to a sword. Dragon's Vein, sword forged by Izuku Midoriya with dragon scales and high-class demon flames. Base damage, 50, rarity, rare, grade, A-, damage plus 100 to dragons, sword skill, Dragon's Will. Izuku assumed a battle stance. They vanished from their spots, reappearing in the center, clashing swords. They leapt back, attacking swiftly, parrying each other's strikes. Izuku lost his sword, and Igris plunged his into the ground, removing his cape and adopting a boxing stance. He truly is a chivalrous knight, Izuku noted, preparing to fight. This was a bad decision on your part. Izuku moved swiftly, positioning himself in front of Igris just as the opponent was about to strike. With a burst of speed, he delivered a powerful roundhouse kick to Igris's head, declaring, "Renewal spin kick." He followed up with 2 swift horizontal kicks to Igris's neck and head, not allowing any chance for a counterattack. A flurry of rapid punches followed, each blow causing Igris's armor to crack. As Izuku prepared to deliver the final strike, Igris summoned his sword back to him, using it as a shield to block the attack. Despite this, the force of Izuku's assault sent Igris crashing toward the base of the stairs. Impressive, Izuku remarked, observing Igris's resilience. But this fight is over. Drawing a regular sword, he moved decisively, stabbing Igris in the chest. Suddenly, Izuku coughed up blood and staggered back, surprised to see his own chest injured. "You will die trying to take your enemy with you," he said, pulling the sword from his chest. "That took out one of my 7 hearts. You managed to do significant damage." A series of notifications appeared before him. "You have defeated Igris the Red Knight. EXP rewarded, auto-looting, 1 rune, 1 status restart, $2,340, 1 lifesaver crystal. Quest, job assignment, Part 1. Completed. Description: kill all monsters in the house and reach the throne room. Rewards: $34,000, 4 points, new function, new skill. Starting second part. Quest, job assignment, Part 2. Description: the longer you last, the more points you can collect that will place you into a higher tier job. Izuku's heart raced as he processed the rewards. A prompt appeared asking, "Do you wish to start?" "Well, this is going to be interesting," he muttered, selecting yes. As the quest commenced, he donned his assassin gear, setting aside a ring that could hinder his stealth. Just as he finished, a loud clang resonated around him. Instinctively, he activated his sensory skill and mana shield, bracing for an ambush. He turned to find himself surrounded by knights. Drawing his dagger, a product of his blacksmith training, he charged, swiftly taking one down. Yet, To his frustration, no experience points or items were gained. He repeated his attacks, but the outcome remained unchanged. "What the hell?" he exclaimed, glancing at the timer. 3 hours had passed without a single reward. Suddenly, a lightning ball zipped past him. "That was close," he shouted, deactivating his mana shield to conserve energy. He activated his stealth skill, hoping to evade the barrage of arrows and spells. "Did I really kill all the monsters?" he wondered, sheathing his weapon. "Let's see if my theory is right." Activating his sin mode, Gluttony, he concentrated his demonic aura into a ball, infusing it with hell flames. "Demonic sun, now die," he shouted, unleashing the fiery mass toward the base of the stairs. A new skill emerged, Demonic Sun, capable of becoming hotter than the sun or colder than the netherworld's ice. "I forgot," he realized, reactivating his mana shield. "This is going to destroy everything." In a panic, he used space shift to teleport to his sword, then back to the top of the stairs. "Now," he said, brandishing his shield, "my mana shield won't withstand the aftershock." He activated the Demonic Aegis, a legendary shield skill. As the demonic sun struck, a massive explosion obliterated the surroundings, shattering his mana shield. As darkness and evil surged from the shield, Izuku felt his sanity slipping. Notifications flooded his mind, but he fought against the chaos. "It's the first time I've activated this shield skill," he breathed, realizing the power's cost. "I must ensure only I can use this." He stowed the shield and deactivated Sin mode, collapsing in disbelief. "Ha! I knew that power level was out of this world, but not like this," he laughed, surveying the destruction. "You have defeated 8 wizards. Experience rewarded, 3,200. As items auto-looted, he noted the rewards: 3 staffs, 4 skill books, $4,630, and 5 mana crystals. "Looks like I got a lot of skill books and items," he said, checking the quest status. "All the monsters in the room have been slain. The quest will end now." With a sense of accomplishment, he prepared for the next challenge. A message appeared: "You will be able to choose a class based on the points collected. A job will be granted after analysis. Wherever you go, the Reaper follows. Your path is littered with battle remnants. Your strength allows you to overcome everything alone. Your longing for power calls those from the Valley of Death, and the army of the dead will follow your commands, creating a path where your will is law." Izuku was taken aback. "What? Of all the jobs, this is the one I get." "Your job is necromancer. Do you accept your job?" "Y/N. Just my luck." "Yes," he replied. "You have gained the title of the one who became death. Your job has been chosen. Based on your points, you will be promoted to a superior class. You have exceeded the expected playtime. Points will be added. You did not use a hearthstone. Points will be added. Final health is above 50%. Points will be added. All enemies have been slain. Points will be added. The total points have exceeded the feat limit. You will be promoted from Necromancer to Shadow Monarch. Skill of the Shadow Monarch will be gifted to the user." Izuku sighed, scratching his head. "A job promotion? Seems like I made a good choice. Let's see the other rewards." "Reward, skill book. I have about 10 skill books," he noted. "Reward, 1,200 EXP. You have leveled up. Just a few levels away from level 100, he mused. Reward, 10 points. "I won't use these points yet," he decided, hearing a noise. "What is that?" He looked around. Screaming? From where? He spotted one of the fallen knights. "Do you wish to use shadow extraction on the target?" Shadow extraction? Is that one of the Shadow Monarch skills? Shadows can be extracted from this target. How can I extract a shadow from a knight? Please select a command phrase for shadow extraction. What can that be? He pondered. Arise. The knight's lifeless body began to emit a black shadow, and from it, a shadowy replica of the knight emerged. Izuku had successfully performed shadow extraction. He observed the scene with interest, thinking to himself that being a shadow monarch could be a rewarding endeavor if he could gather more shadows. The shadow extraction skill allowed Izuku, at level 1, to extract shadows from corpses to add to his army, with a current limit of 30 shadows. Additionally, the shadow preservation skill enabled him to store and monitor these shadows, though he could only save 20 at a time. Izuku mused aloud about the usefulness of his skills, eyeing Igris's body with curiosity. He wondered if he could add Igris to his shadow army and approach the body with intent. The system confirmed that shadows could indeed be extracted from this target. Izuku commanded, "Arise," but the shadow within Igris's body dissipated, leaving Izuku puzzled. A notification informed him that he had reached the maximum number of shadows. To extract more, he would need to use Shadow Cancel to send some shadows to the world of nothingness, from which they could never return. Accepting the limitation, Izuku looked at his Shadow Knights and said, "Shadow Cancel," causing half of them to vanish. With space now available, he attempted to extract Igris's shadow once more, but it failed again, leaving him with only 2 more attempts. Frustrated, Izuku tried again, only to face another failure. With one last attempt remaining, he addressed Igris, understanding the knight's loyalty to the absent king of the castle. He extended his hand and implored, "Protect me, who stands before you, and be my faithful knight. Arise." This time, the shadow emerged, kneeling before Izuku. A notification appeared, indicating that this high-ranked shadow could be named. Izuku, smirking, decided to name it Igris. Using his observe skill, he noted Igris's rank as a knight and level as curious about the lack of information compared to before. He checked another shadow knight, finding it to be of normal rank and level satisfied. Izuku stored his shadow army within his own shadow. With the first part of his quest completed, Izuku received his rewards, $34,000, 4 points, a new function, and a new skill. He accepted each reward, intrigued by the new pet function and the synthesis skill, which allowed him to merge skills into new ones. Feeling overpowered, he sought the exit, and a notification appeared, offering him the choice to leave. He accepted and, upon exiting, took to the sky with his wings, heading home to deal with the consequences of opening the gates. 3 weeks later, Izuku reflected on the numerous gates that had appeared, particularly in the US, and the increasing global mana levels. He had discussed these developments with Melly, who, after initial frustration, accepted the situation. She had been nurturing her dragon egg with angelic mana while Izuku infused his with demonic aura. He had also shared the details of his new job with her, explaining that only one person could enter the quest, which she reluctantly accepted. Meanwhile, the government had noticed a gate in the White House, prompting an evacuation. A SWAT team and heroes were sent inside, but only a few returned, marking a tragic outcome. Disguised, Izuku had warned them about the dangers of leaving the gate open, but they dismissed him. When they threatened him, he used his space-shifting ability to escape. A week later, the gate expanded, releasing stone golems that the heroes struggled to defeat. Some heroes were severely injured, while others perished due to overconfidence. Izuku and Melly, stationed nearby, discreetly eliminated the golems from a distance. When the boss monster appeared, larger and more formidable, the number 15 hero attempted to fight it but began to falter. Izuku donned his mask and intervened just in time, stopping the golem's attack on the hero as Melly's arrow obliterated the golem's upper half. A few days later, Melly and I donned our gear and masks as I used my space-shifting ability to transport us to the White House. A meeting was underway to discuss the mysterious gate, its origins, and the recent events surrounding it. As we materialized before the assembly, the attendees rose, activating their quirks, and some even aimed guns at us. We introduced ourselves as the ones who had closed the gate and had previously warned them about its dangers, but skepticism lingered in the room. We engaged in a lengthy discussion about the nature of the gates and the methods to seal them. I explained the ranking system, the strength of the monsters, the various types of gates, and proposed the concept of a hunter system to rank individuals. I suggested they establish a license akin to a hero license, permitting entry into dungeons with the stipulation that hunters could only enter gates matching their rank or lower, and they must be part of a party. I urged them to share this information globally, cautioning that the USA was merely the beginning and that gates would soon appear worldwide. They agreed to issue hunter licenses to Melly and me, on the condition that we would not reveal our identities to the public or to them. They had little choice, as their heroes were unprepared to handle even an E-rank gate. Izuku Shigaraki Midoriya, son of Hisashi Midoriya, was discovered after fleeing his former home. Now, he stands as the heir to 2 companies. After merging with the demon blood crystal, he developed a sadistic streak. He is recognized as the first hunter known to the world and is also the catalyst for the gates appearing globally. He is engaged to Melissa Shield. Izuku enjoys analyzing heroes, leveling up, acquiring new abilities, spending time with his fiancée, utilizing his quirk/system, bonding with his biological father, exploring dungeons, connecting with his new family, reading, singing, playing instruments, hunting in gates, tormenting those he despises, and caring for his pets. Conversely, he harbors disdain for his former family, his sister, the Bakugo twins, the Todoroki twins. Bullies, perverts, villains, fake heroes, false friends, all might, anyone who harms his fiancée, and those who covet his pets. Izuku possesses a range of skills that enhance his abilities and resilience. He has cultivated a tranquil state of mind, granting him immunity to mental disorders, enabling him to endure pain and resist physical and magical damage effectively. His culinary skills are advanced, allowing him to create dishes that boost strength, dexterity, and recovery rates. In combat, he excels in hand-to-hand techniques and possesses a sharp sense of danger, enabling him to anticipate threats. His observational skills allow him to gather information swiftly, and his ability to create and dismantle instant dungeons provides strategic advantages in various scenarios. Izuku has mastered several weapon types, including swords, bows, and spears, significantly amplifying his attack power. He has developed a profound affinity for mana, enabling him to manipulate it skillfully and regenerate it at an accelerated rate. His magical repertoire includes a variety of offensive and defensive spells, such as energy bolts and mana arrows, which he can summon in large quantities. He can cast multiple spells simultaneously and has the ability to drain energy from opponents, enhancing his own strength. Additionally, he possesses skills that allow him to bind enemies and create protective shields, showcasing his versatility in both combat and defense. His blacksmithing skills enable him to craft and upgrade items, further enhancing his capabilities in his adventures. The higher his level, the more successful the item upgrades, resulting in better quality and grade. Passive skills. Alchemist LVL9 enables the creation of potions, medicine, and poisons through alchemy. Higher levels increase the likelihood of producing high-grade items. Time/space expansion LVL6 150 MP creates an area where the user can expand or shrink space and alter the flow of time, allowing for complete changes in location and terrain. This ability can be deactivated at the user's discretion. Active skills. Synthesis LVL Max transforms 2 differing targets into a single object or vice versa. This can be used to merge skills, abilities, items, and elements, evolving them into new skills. Multiple skills and abilities can be acquired from the merging depending on the combination used. Dominator's Touch LVL12, a form of telekinesis that cannot be countered by normal means, allowing the user to move and control any object. Shadow Extraction LVL5. Izuku can extract an individual's shadow from their corpse to add to his army, 1655 shadows extracted. Shadow Preservation LVL4. The user can preserve shadows in storage and monitor them by perceiving their senses, 1636 shadows saved. Shadow Cancel sends the target's shadow to the void, making it impossible to summon back. Demonic Sun 500 MP creates a sun from a high concentration of demonic aura, capable of extreme temperatures and size adjustments. Mutilation LVL9. The user can severely wound a target with a single strike using daggers. Space Shift LVL14, 120 MP allows the user to warp space itself, creating a pocket dimension. Melissa Shield, a young woman of 18, possessed an array of formidable abilities and skills that set her apart in both combat and magical prowess. Known by many titles, Undead Killer, Heaven's Princess, Inventor, The Second Hunter, and fiancée of Izuku Midoriya, she was a force to be reckoned with. As a magic swordsman and magic lancer, she wielded her powers with precision and grace. Her demon physiology endowed her with extraordinary traits: inhuman strength, stamina, beauty, durability, and an enhanced physical condition. Her memory was exceptional, and she could manifest demon wings, horns, and a tail at will. She had the power to manipulate elements in their purest form, shapeshift into forms she had seen, and control various energies, including ki and aura. Though she stopped aging at 20, she remained vulnerable to special weapons. Her mastery over dark elements and shadows allowed her to move unseen, and her 7 regenerating hearts made her incredibly resilient. Melissa's skills extended to weapon creation and corruption, enabling her to craft weapons from any material and corrupt anything she touched. Her demonic element manipulation was unmatched, and her golden tongue could compel others to reveal their deepest desires. She was highly resistant to holy and divine powers and could wield hellfire, burning hotter than the sun. Her human attributes were equally impressive. With a health and mana reserve exceeding 300, her strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma were all finely balanced. Her skills in pain endurance, physical and magical resistance, and combat mastery were honed to perfection. She could endure pain, reduce physical and magical damage, and excel in hand-to-hand combat and swordsmanship. Melissa's angelic physiology granted her additional powers: enhanced strength, stamina, beauty, durability, and memory. She could manifest wings and manipulate elements, shapeshift, and control energy. Her semi-mortality halted her aging at 20, and she could bless weapons with holy attributes. Her divine aura compelled others to submit, and her holy aura could transform others into angels temporarily. Her ability to create matter was limited only by her imagination and knowledge, and she could sense death, possess others, and manipulate thoughts and memories. Her compatibility with any weapon she touched and her healing powers made her a formidable ally. Melissa's inventory included 74 level crystals and a 2x experience ring, enhancing her growth and abilities. The Valkyrie of God armor set, crafted from holy materials and blessed by divine forces, provided unparalleled protection and strength. The set's bonus increased damage to evil beings and granted special abilities like healing, resurrection, and enhanced physical attributes. The Valkyrie's hood allowed her to see opponents' weaknesses and adapt her vision for darkness, while the Evil's punishment sword dealt significant damage to evil and dark entities. With her current gear, Melissa's shield stood ready to face any challenge, her powers and skills a testament to her strength and determination. Izuku and Melissa had just landed at Haneda Airport, a mere 17 hours away from UA. Izuku, with Ryu perched on his head, took in the familiar sights of Japan. "It's been a long time since I was here," he remarked, glancing at Melissa. "Hey Melly, you okay?" Melissa shook her head slightly, trying to dispel a lingering sense of vertigo. "Yeah, just feeling a bit dizzy." "So, what's first on our agenda?" "First, we need to head to our new house," Izuku replied, though a sense of impending regret gnawed at him. Melissa smiled, curious. "Yeah? Where is it?" Izuku hesitated, a bead of sweat forming on his brow. "I may have found it in the middle of the Pacific Ocean." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You found a whole island? How?" Izuku sighed internally, realizing why regret had been creeping in. "Let's just say I've been working on my flying speed," he said, keeping the full truth to himself. He couldn't admit that using the demonic sun at full power had caused the sea floor to rise. A few weeks earlier, Izuku had decided to test the limits of his power before returning to Japan. He needed a remote location, and the Pacific Ocean seemed ideal. With Melissa occupied, with her father and his own father busy at the company, Izuku took to the skies, heading for the ocean's center. Upon arrival, he scanned the area for any signs of life. Finding only sea creatures, he ascended to 700 feet, ready to begin his experiment. "Demonic sun," he called, channeling his power. As he increased the intensity, the sun grew larger and more difficult to control. At 4 times its normal size, it was as large as Pluto, and his mana reserves were nearly depleted. Unable to cancel the spell, he released the massive energy into the ocean, resulting in a colossal explosion. Watching the aftermath, Izuku noticed bubbles rising, followed by the emergence of a peak. To his amazement, an entire island surfaced. "System, what just happened?" he asked. The system responded, explaining that the explosion had shifted tectonic plates, causing the land to rise. The island stretched 777 miles long, but without a foundation, it would eventually sink. Determined to stabilize it, Izuku activated Poseidon's Sea, commanding the water to support the island. He then used a combination of elements to create a dense fog, concealing the island from satellites. With the system's guidance, he identified 217 weak spots that needed reinforcement. Using earth pillars and magic circles for durability and strength, he fortified the island's base and smaller weak points, ensuring its stability. "All weak spots are now fortified," the system confirmed. "The island will not sink until the pillars are completely destroyed." Satisfied with his work, Izuku knew the island was ready for whatever plans he had in mind. Izuku had just finished constructing the final piece of their plan, feeling a mix of relief and anxiety. He knew that if Melissa ever discovered the truth behind their actions, he would be in serious trouble. In the present, Melissa was deep in thought. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Determined to uncover the truth, she mused, "I will find out sooner or later, and you will pay the price for lying to me." She sighed, contemplating the challenge ahead. "How do we even get over there? It's in the Pacific Ocean." Izuku, sensing her unease, wrapped his arms around her and Sarah. "Hold on tight," he instructed, glancing skyward. Before Melissa could question him further, he activated his ability with a confident, "Space shift." Izuku's eyes met Melissa's with a hint of exasperation. "This is the third time you've done that," he remarked. "Sorry," he added, trying to lighten the mood. "But anyway, we are here." They found themselves before a stunning mountain landscape, a house nestled among the peaks. "Wow, this looks appealing," Melissa exclaimed, taking in the view. "Right? This will be our home for years," Izuku replied. "But if you want, we can move to an apartment." Melissa shook her head. "No, but how are we going to get to the mainland in Japan?" "Come on," Izuku said, leading her toward the house. "You know how I've been reading a book since our trip to Jamaica?" "Yeah, I remember. But you never said what it was about," Melissa replied. "Well, you know how we have mana and only use it for skills, right?" Izuku continued. "Yeah," Melissa nodded. "I found an old book that shows how to use mana in different ways," Izuku explained. "What do you mean, Zu?" Melissa asked, intrigued. "I found a way to teleport without using space shift," he revealed. "Wait, how?" Melissa inquired, her curiosity piqued. "Let's just go to the place and I'll show you," Izuku suggested. A few minutes later, they arrived at a river. "This is what I learned," Izuku said. "I can teleport without using space shift, but it's only one way. I need to study the teleportation chapter more to find a way back." "Wow. But where does this take us?" Melissa asked. "Mel, this takes us to the top of Roppongi Hills," Izuku replied. "Isn't that to the north of UA and like 2 miles away?" Melissa questioned. "Correct," Izuku confirmed. Melissa narrowed her eyes. "Wait, when did you have time to set this up and connect it to Japan?" "I set this up when I found the island, but the connection to Roppongi Hills was made last month when I was training Ryu to fly at high speed," Izuku explained. "You were teaching Ryu to fly at high speed? Are you out of your mind? How can you teach a 2-year-old dragon to fly at that speed?" Melissa exclaimed. Mach 10, Izuku admitted sheepishly. Melissa couldn't help but smile at the speed they had reached. "Ryu, can you wake up, buddy? And Izuku, can you please stand still?" Ryu stirred awake. "Ryu, tell me, how would you like to stay in the doghouse for a month?" Melissa teased. Ryu shook his head vigorously. Mel, please don't you think a month is too much?" Izuku pleaded. "I'll make it 2 if you don't shut it," Melissa warned, turning her attention back to Ryu. "Now, Ryu, tell me, did you go with Zu at Mach speed?" Ryu glanced at Izuku, who was subtly shaking his head no. Ryu, say the truth or I will make it 3 months. Did you or did you not fly with Izuku at Mach speed? Melissa pressed. Ryu began to sweat. He nodded reluctantly. Thank you, Melissa said, turning to see Izuku attempting to slip away. Holy bind! Chains of holy light emerged from the ground, ensnaring Izuku and causing him to fall face first. See that her, Izuku began, turning to see Melissa. Melissa? Izuku Shigaraki Midoriya, where do you think you are going? You are going to be severely punished, Melissa declared. Mel, please don't hurt me. Izuku's plea was cut short by a sudden force on his neck. Sarah, can you carry Ryu and don't let him escape? Keep a close eye on him, Melissa instructed. Okay, Sarah agreed, grabbing Ryu with her claws. Let's go, Ryu. Thank you, Sarah. Now to deal with you, Melissa said, dragging Izuku by his shirt collar back to the house, contemplating his punishment while Sarah flew with Ryu. Izuku awoke on the couch with Ryu comfortably settled on his stomach. Ryu, wake up, Izuku murmured, shaking him gently. Hello, Mstr. Are you awake? Ryu asked, blinking sleepily. What happened? Izuku inquired. Unless Melissa knocked you out and dragged you here, Ryu explained. Yeah, I feel pain in my neck and back. Where is Sarah and Mel? Izuku asked. Sister Sarah and Tethys Melissa are looking around the house, Ryu replied. Thanks, Ryu, Izuku said. Welcome to Mstr. I'm going to sleep now, Ryu announced. You really must be tired from using a full-powered breath during the hunt, Izuku noted. Yep, I am drained. Can you wake me up when it's time to eat? Ryu requested. Okay, sleep well, buddy, Izuku said, standing up and searching for Melissa, his mind preoccupied with the punishment she might impose. Izuku shivered at the thought. I'm going to sleep on the couch for a month, but that's for future Izuku to deal with. A voice interrupted his thoughts. Wow, this place is appealing. Izuku paused. I think I know where she is. He followed the voice to the guest bathroom and found Melissa gazing at the river and mountains. He approached her quietly and hugged her from behind, causing her to jump. Don't do that, Melissa exclaimed. Izuku chuckled. Sorry. How do you like the house so far? It's appealing. From the rooms to the scenery to the flower bed out back, Melissa replied. Yeah, I thought you would like it. There are other places yet to be explored, Izuku said. This doesn't change the fact that your punishment is still in place. You have to sleep on the couch with Ryu for a month, Melissa reminded him. Can you please make it 3 weeks at least? Izuku pleaded. Nope. 1 month, or do you want a harsher punishment for a shorter time? Melissa countered. Izuku shook his head rapidly. Anyway, he said, glancing at his watch, we should get ready for lunch with Mr. Yaoyorozu. It's 2:25 p.m., and the appointment is at 2, so let's get ready. Mel, where is Sarah? Oh, she said she was going to see the surrounding area, Melissa replied. Okay, tell her we're having lunch with some people and that she and Ryu will need to shapeshift into different forms. Oh, and our room is on the 2nd floor with the Midori Industry crest, Izuku instructed. Okay, Zoo, Melissa agreed. Izuku headed back to the living room to grab a quick drink before preparing for their appointment with Mr. Yaoyorozu. He took a sip and made his way upstairs to the 2nd floor to get ready. I really did make this house perfect, he mused with a smile. I hope she likes it. He entered the closet and grabbed a towel. Okay, let's get ready. Melissa's POV. As Izuku left, I wandered around the house again. This place is like the perfect home. He really outdid himself with this house. Oh right, I have to get ready, I reminded myself, heading to my room just as Izuku emerged from the bathroom. I couldn't help but stare, my thoughts drifting. How can he be so handsome? His body looks like it was sculpted by an angel. I quickly shook my head, feeling the heat rise to my face as I noticed Izuku smirking at me. What is it, Mel? Like what you see, he teased. What do you mean? I don't like, I stammered, trying to defend myself. Mel, you're drooling, Izuku pointed out with a laugh. Embarrassed, I quickly wiped my face. Hey, it's not funny. I protested. Yes, it is, he chuckled, walking away. Anyway, if you want to take a shower, go ahead. I need to change into better attire for our lunch with Mr. Yaoyorozu. Hey! I called after him, but he was already gone. I sighed, wondering what I was doing, and headed off to take a shower. To be continued. Izuku Yagi had always felt out of place. Bullied since the age of 4 by his friends and sister, neglected and punished by his parents for things he didn't do, he ran away from home at 10. Finally, he found a place he could call home and a friend he could cherish. But fate had other plans. One day, the sun turned black, marking the beginning of a phenomenon known as the breakdown. In a world where 5 races fought for supremacy, the elves, dwarfs, flugel, war-beasts, and humans were at war, each created by different gods. Despite their struggles, no one emerged victorious. The sacrifice of a single human changed everything. Tet, the current holder of the title of one true god, established 10 covenants that reshaped the world, forbidding murder, war, and robbery, and mandating that all conflicts be resolved through games. Fast forward 6,000 years, humans began to mutate, developing powers known as quirks. Among them were Izuku Midoriya, labeled as having a useless quirk, and a small girl named Eri Midoriya, who had been abandoned at Biarritz. Together, they aspired to challenge Tet, not for glory, but for the sheer joy of the game. In the beginning, there was only one power, Origin, which created heaven, darkness, hell, and everything in between. Over millennia, the system of reality evolved, leading to the emergence of smaller gods like Zeus and Gaia, the goddess of Earth. In the year 2201, humans began to exhibit changes, with some growing horns or wings and others developing elemental powers. As Origin crafted consciousness for the forces of creation and destruction, 2 individuals were chosen, Momo Yaoyorozu, who would wield the power of creation, and a green-haired boy who would embody destruction. Their choices would determine the fate of the world. Izuku Yagi's life had been filled with hardship, but destiny had greater plans for him. As he became the heir to a power beyond human understanding, he grappled with his past and the question of whether he would choose to save or destroy. In another realm, Izuku Midoriya, known as the 7th Campione for defeating a heretic god, faced the consequences of his reckless actions against a notorious villain. With a trip to Italy looming, he was left to confront the secrets of his past. Meanwhile, in the gaming world, Izuku was known as the Demon King, a prodigy and champion. As the regional championship approached, he prepared to defend his title while reflecting on the girl who inspired him to enter this competitive realm. As these stories intertwined, the journey of Izuku and his companions would reveal the true nature of their powers and the choices that lay ahead. In the fairy world, a long-haired man was flying in the sky, looking down at the void known as World's Edge, where no mortal or immortal law was strict, only chaotic energy. As he tried to cultivate, he was struck by a colorless lightning and fell into the void. Ah! I screamed, falling to the ground and looking at Bakugo Katsuki. I glanced around, trying to understand where I was, but then Bakugo lifted me off the ground. Hey you nerd! Can't you hear me? I said, where did you get the guts to enroll in UA? He demanded. I began to remember this day. It was the day the teachers announced our college applications. Ha ha ha. What's so funny, Deku? Bakugo sneered. Oh, nothing, I replied, trying to keep my composure. Tee, you've gone insane from the betting. Now, if you don't want another pullback on your application. As he walked away, I started to talk to myself. I have come back 7,000 years into the past. It had been 10 years since I left UA to fight AFO and Shigaraki. In the end, I defeated both, but at what price? I lost my mother, my mentor, my class, everyone. As I stood beside Shigaraki, he laughed maniacally. To think that I lost to you. But I won't die alone. I will take you with me, Midoriya, he shouted, grabbing me and activating the same quirk AFO used to nearly kill Lady Nagant as he tried to take one for all from me. I struggled to push him away, but it was futile. As he laughed, I accepted our fate. I awoke in my old room, where I had been with my mom. I quickly got up and ran to the bathroom, tears streaming down my face. How am I back? I thought I died with Shigaraki, I walked into my old room and closed my eyes, hoping to sense one for all. To my surprise, not only did I not have one for all, but I also had AFO. Hello, my name is Kin Ryo Drag. I was a 24-year-old man with a stable job and a passion for anime. My life was amazing until it ended while saving my friend's life. Dying of version at 24, what now? Will I meet God and be ice-guyed? Hello, are you there? A voice called out. Where am I? I asked, looking at an appealing woman. Sorry, but why am I here? Oh, sorry. I saw that you exchanged your life for your friend, so I came to tell you that you will be reborn. You don't seem surprised. When you're an anime fan and have seen so many Ice Guy stories, you can't be surprised. But what am I going to get? Yes, you get 4 wishes. On a stormy night, 7-year-old Izuku Yagi was walking home after being forgotten at the park. As he neared his house, he was struck by rainbow-colored lightning and disappeared. 13 years later, he returned, strong and powerful, thanks to the crazy martial system. Now, as Izuku prepared for an important appointment, he called out, Melly, Sarah, Ryu. Hurry, we have about 10 minutes until the appointment. I know. Come on, let's hurry. Melissa shouted back. Ra, coming. Sarah replied. You coming? Ryu added. Looking at his watch, Izuku urged them to move faster. Okay, sorry for making you hurry, Melissa. I know, she replied. Sir, do we have to be in this form? Ryu asked. Yeah, Sir Izuku, we don't like this form, Sarah chimed in. I know, but we don't want to cause a panic with dragons around, Izuku explained. That is correct. With gates opening more frequently, we'd rather not cause a public panic, Melissa added. Okay, sir, but can we have a treat later? Sarah asked. Yeah, can we, sir? Ryu echoed. Okay, Izuku and Melissa agreed. Let's go. Izuku declared, activating the teleportation circle. As light enveloped them, they began to vanish. Atop Roppongi Hills, a blue magic circle appeared, and 4 figures materialized. Melissa remarked on the strange sensation, to which Izuku replied that he was more accustomed to using space shift than the circle, but they would have to adapt. As Melissa admired the appealing view, Izuku agreed with her. Melissa inquired about the location of the Yaoyorozu mansion. Izuku informed her that it was in the direction of Mizudafu, about 10 minutes away. She noted that it was where he used to live and asked if he wanted to visit, mentioning the possibility of encountering familiar faces. Izuku assured her it was fine, as he looked different now and wouldn't be recognized. Melissa added that even if they were discovered, there was nothing anyone could do. With determination, Izuku declared it was time to go, unfurling his demonic wings. Melissa followed suit, revealing her angelic wings, and they took flight. From a distance, a man with red wings observed them, puzzled by their sudden appearance. Deciding to follow them, he hoped to uncover their destination. As they flew, Melissa and Izuku sensed a presence trailing them. Izuku whispered to Melissa, asking if she felt it too. She suggested they speed up, but Izuku cautioned against attracting attention from Japan's Hero Commission. Instead, he extended his hand to her, asking for her trust. She complied, and he activated his stealth skill, rendering them invisible. The pursuer, unable to see them, resolved to report the incident to the commission and flew off. Once the man departed, Izuku and Melissa reappeared. Izuku noted that the commission would likely learn about them, and Melissa acknowledged their efforts to avoid such attention. Deciding to deal with it later, they continued their journey to the Yaoyorozu mansion. Upon reaching the gates of the Yaoyorozu manor, Izuku whistled in admiration of its grandeur. Melissa agreed, noting it was at least 20% larger than his father's estate. Izuku rang the gate's bell, and the intercom requested their names. Introducing himself as Izuku Midoriya and his fiancée, Melissa Shield, they sought an audience with Mr. Yaoyorozu. Through the intercom, Yaoyorozu, representing Midori Industry, welcomed them and opened the gates. Alfred Pennyworth, the head butler, greeted them at the entrance and escorted them inside to meet Mr. Yaoyorozu, who was reviewing documents. Alfred announced their arrival, and Anakisu Yaoyorozu, an old friend of Izuku's father, greeted them warmly. Introductions were made, and Onikisu invited them to join his wife for lunch. As they approached the dining area, Ayane Yaoyorozu, resembling an older version of Momo, emerged from the kitchen. She welcomed them and called for her daughter, Momo, to join them. Momo, a younger version of Ayane, entered and introduced herself. They all sat down to eat, and after lunch, Onikisu asked Izuku to discuss the contract with him. Izuku agreed, leaving Melissa to converse with Ayane and Momo. As Izuku and Onikisu retreated to the living room, Ayane commented on Izuku's respectful demeanor, and Momo agreed, noting his gentlemanly nature. Melissa shared that Izuku always prioritized others, earning admiration from Ayane and Momo. Their conversation shifted when Momo noticed something moving on Melissa's neck. Melissa introduced Sarah, a small creature, who awoke and asked if it was lunchtime. Momo and Ayane were charmed by Sarah's cuteness. Melissa explained that Sarah was going to fetch her brother, Ryu, from Izuku. Ayane was surprised. "Wait, you've had them since we entered?" she asked. Melissa nodded apologetically. "Yeah, sorry, I forgot they were asleep on our necks." Ayane smiled. "No problem." In the living room, I turned to Onikisu, curious about our conversation. "What is it that you wanted to talk about? I know it's not about the contract." Onikisu seemed taken aback. "How did you know?" "My quirk allows me to see people's auras and their emotions or intentions," I explained. "That sounds useful," he admitted. "But yes, I wanted to know if you could house my daughter while you're at UA." "What do you mean by house?" I asked. "Well, Ayane and I haven't had time alone, and we wanted to go to France for a couple of years. But since my daughter Momo wants to go to UA, we can't leave. So I wanted to see if you could take her with you," Onikisu explained. "I'd need to talk with Melissa. I'm not opposed to it, but I have to discuss it with her. If she agrees, Momo won't be staying in Japan," I said. "What do you mean by not staying in Japan?" Onikisu asked. "I found an island in the Pacific Ocean. I took ownership of it and built a home there," I explained. "Wait, in the middle of the ocean? How are you here? You didn't come by plane, did you?" Onikisu asked. "No, my quirk also allows me to cut the distance between two places," I clarified. "So, teleportation?" he asked. "Yes, but it's a bit complicated, so let's just leave it at that," I said. "Okay," Onikisu said, glancing at the doorway as Sarah walked into the living room. "What is a cub doing inside the house? Did one of the maids forget to close the backyard door?" I turned to see Sarah. "Oh, sorry, no, it's not a wild cub. It's just Melissa's companion." "Companion?" Onikisu asked, intrigued. "Yes, her name is Sarah." "Mine is Ryu," I said, pointing to the creature coiled around my neck. "Sarah, what are you doing here?" Sarah made a noise, and I turned to Ryu. "Ryu, what did Sarah say?" As Ryu woke up, he moved to Sarah. "Nurse Momo is going to feed us, and she said you should give her our food," Ryu translated. I rubbed my head and took out a bag. "Sorry, I forgot to feed both of you," I said, handing the bag to Sarah. "Here, Sarah, take this to Momo and thank her for reminding me." Sarah responded with a sound, and Ryu added, "She said you're welcome and not to forget next time." I nodded and turned back to Onikisu. "Sorry about that." "No need," Onikisu replied. "So what is that about companions?" "Oh, they are our pets but closer. They follow us and will always help us when we need them," I explained. "Okay, let's go to Ayane," Onikisu suggested. "It's been 2 months since I met the Yaoyorozu family and took Momo Yaoyorozu under our roof. Melissa and I have been discussing making Momo a player as well as a hunter, so we decided to ask her after dinner. But right now, I am in Japan, looking at the entrance of UA College from the top of a building. I mused to myself, I still wonder where Nizu got the money to build the school. With 8 more months until the entrance exam, I sighed. The Hero Commission is keeping silent about the gates, and it seems they believe their heroes are capable of clearing a dungeon. But from what I have seen, they can barely beat an E-rank dungeon. It seems like I will need to go and twist the Commission's arm. The only way to make these individuals in the Commission do something is to either threaten them or show them, I thought, placing my hand on my face. So I will do both, threaten them while showing them. At the commission tower, a meeting was underway. What do you mean you haven't found the people that you saw? One member asked Hawks. Sorry, sir, but I flew around and never saw the two people, Hawks replied. We do not know if they are spies of a country or if they are villains, and from what you informed us, it seemed like they had more than one quirk, another member noted. That shouldn't be possible. All Might killed the only person to have multiple quirks, a fourth member interjected. I know, ma'am, Hawks acknowledged. What do you think? Do you believe that the people Hawks saw are connected to All for One? A fifth member inquired. I believe it is possible, but first, we need to verify that All Might killed All for One, the third member said, standing and taking out his phone. Hello, this is the commission. I need you to report here. We need you to confirm something for us. He turned back to the others. I called him to come over to verify if he killed him. What should we do if these people have no connection to All for One? The fifth member asked. We can't have a person with the power to have multiple quirks. Even if they are good, they will change the status quo, the first member stated. You may leave, the third member told Hawks. Hawks stood and left. The third member looked back at the others. Now, speaking of the status quo, you have heard from China and the USA that the same weird portals are opening up and that they are building a group to deal with them. They said that every country and continent should do the same. Yes, China said that some of their strong quirk heroes were killed and that some of the weaker quirked individuals got strange abilities. I also heard that a portal opened in the White House, and they were the ones to tell the other countries that these portals, or as they call them, gates, are dangerous and that no hero or civilian should enter without an appropriate license, the first member added. Why should we follow the other countries? They are just paranoid. Just because the USA's heroes weren't capable of doing something about these gates doesn't mean that we aren't capable. After all, we have All Might, and China has the weakest heroes within their continent. Remember, they asked for heroes in the past just because theirs were weak, the second member scoffed. You know that even if China has the weakest heroes, the USA also backed them up, saying that these gates were a threat and that even the number one hero, Stars and Stripes, had trouble destroying that gate. Everyone should make and help fund the group, and it seems like the leaders of the USA and China agree, the fourth member pointed out. And it seems like the USA was holding some information, but I can't be sure, the third member concluded. A mysterious voice echoed through the room, commanding attention. No, you are correct, it declared. One of the commission members, feeling threatened, activated his quirk and demanded, Who are you? Show yourself. There is no need to activate your quirk, the voice replied calmly. Even if you attack me with your sonic voice, it won't work. Besides, you would only harm your fellow members. Call me Oni. I'm the reason the USA's gate closed during the White House incident and why China's dungeon outbreak was contained. Oni continued, I came here to discuss why you keep silent about the gates, but it seems I've got my answers, and I am not pleased. It appears I must show you. Are you threatening us? One of the commission members asked, his voice tinged with disbelief. Well, yes, I am, Oni admitted. You see, I and others have been closing the gates in Japan and other countries. The only reason Japan hasn't been overrun with monsters and dungeon breaks is that you arrogant individuals believe your heroes can close a gate. Oni tossed a paper onto the table. At that location, there's at least a B-rank gate. Take whatever hero you want and try to close it. If you can't and a dungeon break occurs, I will close it, and you will have to allow the Hunter organization to establish itself here in Japan without interference from the Hero Association. You think we will lose? Another member challenged, activating his quirk and shooting lightning toward Oni. All Might is powerful. You can't order us around. Oni observed the attack with interest. Amazing quirk, lightning force. A powerful ability indeed, but do you think that will work? As the lightning surged toward Oni, iron rods materialized around him, diverting the attack. It seems your attack missed, but that quirk is impressive, Oni remarked. So, archive, quirk lightning force is copied and saved. Oni's demeanor shifted as he addressed the room. You attacked first, so let me make an example out of you. Bind and bloodlust. Chains erupted from the ground, ensnaring the member who had attacked, while the others froze, transfixed by Oni's presence. "You move, you die," Oni warned, his bloodlust palpable. "You attacked me first, so don't be bitter about what's to come." With a chilling command, Oni summoned a spectral form from the restrained member, extracting a blue orb from within. The member's body screamed in agony as Oni's hand turned black, veins glowing blue, and the orb disintegrated. "This is a warning," Oni declared. "Try to attack me again, and I will do the same to you. Now, it's time for me to leave. I will see you in a month. That is your deadline until the dungeon break happens." As Oni vanished, the chains around the member dissipated, and the others rushed to his aid. I can't feel it," the member stammered, panic rising in his voice. "Can't feel your what?" another member asked, concern etched on his face. "The orb he had in his hands." "It couldn't be," one member whispered to another. "They're talking about the blue orb that person took out of him. It was his." "Quirk," another explained, the gravity of the situation sinking in. "How?" a member questioned incredulously. "There's no way to destroy a quirk. Not even all for one can. They only disappear when the person with the quirk dies. Even that is uncertain, there has been no study confirming it. So how could someone do that?" "I don't know," another member admitted, "but from what we saw, that man is not normal." "Can you try to use your quirk?" one member urged the afflicted member. "You think I'm not trying?" he cried, tears streaming down his face. "I can't feel it. I've been trying. I feel like a part of me has been ripped out. I feel weak. I can't use it. I don't feel complete." "Let's have one of the bodyguards take him home," another member suggested. "We need to address the gate that Oni mentioned. If we can close it, we might be able to help him." "You're right," the leader sighed. "When is All Might coming?" "In 20 minutes, came the reply. "Can you gather the top 100 and military personnel at Ohama Seaside Park in 30 minutes? The leader instructed. "Yes, sir," came the prompt response. 30 minutes later, at Ohama Seaside Park, the commission members began the assembly. "Let's start," one member announced. "Call out for the top 10 from bottom to top." The roll call commenced, each hero responding in turn. Gang Orca, Ryukyu, Yoroi Musha, Kamui Woods, Crust, Edge Shot, Best Genist, Hawks. Endeavor, impatient, demanded, "Why did you call us?" "I will get to that," the member replied, continuing, "All Might." "Where is All Might?" another member asked, glancing around. "He should be," began one member, but he was interrupted by a booming voice. "Ha! I am here." All Might announced his arrival with his trademark enthusiasm. "There he is," a member confirmed. "Why did you ask us here?" Endeavor pressed, his heat rising with his impatience. "I would also like to know that," Ryukyu added. The leader addressed the gathered heroes through a microphone. "It seems like everyone is here. A few years ago, unknown portals began appearing around the world. You may have seen some in the news, like in the USA and China. Now they have appeared in Japan. I have heard about them, some even appeared in the ocean," Gang Orca commented, his voice thoughtful. A few minutes earlier, a mysterious figure had approached the commission, warning them about the so-called gates. He threatened that if they weren't closed, the entities inside might be unleashed. The memory of the chaos in Hong Kong a few years ago was still fresh. 258 heroes had perished, over 1,200 civilians had died, and the damage was estimated at around $1.2 billion. The United States had also alerted them to the dangers of these gates, explaining that they were ranked from E to S, with S being the most perilous. The incident at the White House had been classified as C rank, while the catastrophe in China had been AB rank. Some heroes began to murmur among themselves. All Might, with his booming voice, questioned why they needed to close the gates if they eventually closed on their own. The commission member explained that the mysterious figure and his group had been actively closing the gates appearing around Japan. A random hero interjected, suggesting that the man should have been captured for using his quirk without a license. The commission members flinched at this suggestion. Commission member 5 asked the hero to state his name and rank. The hero identified himself as the Marine hero, Marshall. Rank #member 5 explained that they hadn't had the opportunity to capture the man, but if Marshall ever encountered him, he was welcome to try. Activating his quirk, Memory Show, Member 5 projected a holographic screen of his memories, though some parts were muted for safety. The screen showed a figure who introduced himself as ONI, claiming responsibility for closing the gates during the White House incident and the dungeon outbreak in China. ONI and his group had been closing gates in Japan and other countries, preventing monster infestations and dungeon breaks. Commission Member 2, confident in All Might's power, attempted to attack ONI with his quirk, Lightning Force. However, ONI was unfazed, using his own abilities to neutralize the attack. As iron rods absorbed the lightning, ONI warned that any further aggression would be met with severe consequences. Demonstrating his power, ONI used his magic to bind Member 2 with chains and extracted a blue orb from his body, causing him to scream in agony. ONI warned the others that attacking him again would lead to the same fate. With that, he vanished, leaving the commission members to help the stricken member. Member 2 was in shock, unable to feel his quirk. The other members realized that the blue orb ONI had taken was indeed his quirk. Member 2, distraught, cried out that he felt incomplete and weak without it. Commission Member 5 suggested that they send Member 2 home with a bodyguard and focus on closing the gate ONI had mentioned. They hoped that by doing so, they might be able to help Member 1 agreed and asked when All Might would arrive. Member 3 informed them he would be there in 20 minutes. Member 1 instructed Member 4 to gather the top 100 heroes and military personnel at Ohama Seaside Park in 30 minutes. Deactivating his quirk, Member 5 addressed Hero Marshall, reminding him of the potential consequences of trying to arrest ONI, who seemed to possess multiple quirks. All Might, deep in thought, muttered, "All for one," but was advised to remain silent. Member 1 reiterated the urgency of closing the gate themselves, emphasizing the need to control ONI. The meeting concluded with plans to mobilize their forces at Ohama Seaside Park. At Ohama Seaside Park, Commission Member 1 reiterated the importance of closing the gate, emphasizing the need for the top heroes and military to assist in controlling the situation and ONI. Crust questioned the commissioner, "If ONI has been closing these gates, why did they ask you to do it?" The first commission member explained, ONI wanted to test if Japan could close the gates on their own. A random hero inquired, "Is it mandatory to be here?" The third commission member advised, "It's not mandatory, but I recommend staying. We need everyone, and there's the risk of losing your hero license. If we don't close the gate, monsters could emerge, leading to many casualties." With no further questions, the first commission member declared, "Let's start this mission." Meanwhile, a shadowy figure observed the heroes and commissioner from a tree. ONI muttered to himself, "They actually think they can handle the gate. Fools." Removing his mask, he instructed, "Igris, enter Ryukyu's shadow with 5 others. Assist them against powerful enemies, but no more than that. Do you understand?" Igris nodded, kneeling before Izuku, merging with the shadows, and traveling with 5 others toward the heroes. Izuku, gazing at his mask, mused, "They'll learn the hard way. ONI will make them see." He sighed, "Let's go home. I want to eat whatever Yaoyorozu and Mel are cooking, and I need to discuss joining Space Shift with Yaoyorozu." Inside the dungeon, the heroes felt the oppressive heat as they entered. Endeavor remarked, "This place is hotter than my resistance can handle. I can actually feel the heat." Orca complained, "I can't stand it. I have to back out. My body hurts, and I'm losing hydration." Hawks reassured him, "No shame in that. The heat will kill you if you stay. Just report to the commissioner." Kamui added, "I'll leave too. My wood quirk is useless here." All Might encouraged, "No worries, Kamui. Anyone with a water-based quirk who can't handle the heat should go." Gang Orca and Kamui left with 30 more heroes. Hawks questioned All Might, "Why did you let so many leave? We only have 68 heroes." Orca had to go, but Kamui and others could have managed. All Might laughed, "We'll clear this place. After all, I am here." Endeavor, noticing something on the wall, asked, "What's that on the wall? I can't see it clearly." A random hero volunteered, "I'll check." Approaching the wall, he announced, I found a mask and some writing. Crust shouted, "What does it say?" The hero read aloud, "Has anyone seen my invisible cloak?" Crust scoffed, "That idiotic invisible cloak isn't real." Endeavor urged, "Let's move on." The group followed Endeavor into another room. A hero remarked, "It's hard to see." Another added, "Yeah, I can barely see 20 feet ahead, and my quirk is combat only." Yoroi asked, "Does anyone have a radar or reconnaissance quirk?" A hero replied, "I do, but I need a few minutes to activate it." Yoroi encouraged, "Go ahead." The hero activated their quirk, Echolocator. 3 minutes later, the hero reported, "Sir, there's a fork ahead. A road 200 feet away with an entity I can't identify. Another is 500 feet to the right, and finally, 100 feet to the left, there's another entity." Genist asked, "Endeavor, should we split up or stay together?" All Might suggested, "We should split up." Endeavor disagreed, "No, we shouldn't. We don't know what's in here." All Might insisted, "That doesn't matter. We have the top heroes. I don't believe this place is as dangerous as claimed. We haven't encountered anything yet, so I'll go forward." Endeavor relented, "Fine. Don't blame me for any trouble. You have muscle but no brain. We don't know what's in here. I'll go left." Hawks decided, "I'll go right then. Each of us will take 22 heroes. We'll meet here in 30 minutes. Is that fine?" All Might laughed, "Yes, that's fine. This is going to be easy." Endeavor sighed, "Yes, that's fine. We'll split up. Hawks, All Might, and I will lead our groups. Each group will have 22 heroes. Choose your leader." After a few minutes, Endeavor instructed, "We're going now. We'll meet back here in 30 minutes." He left with his group. All Might rallied his group, "Follow me, and let's move forward." He left with his group. Hawks led the remaining heroes, "Follow me. We'll go opposite Endeavor." He left with his group. Endeavor's perspective, room number 11. As we advanced, we encountered a glowing creature. Upon closer inspection, it was a monster engulfed in flames. The fire elemental spoke in an unknown language. As I pondered its words, a hero rushed toward it. I shouted, "What are you doing?" "Stop." The hero declared, "I'll defeat this monster." The fire elemental responded, and suddenly a fire spear pierced the hero. As he fell, I attacked with Spiral Burn, unleashing a spiraling blast of fire. The monster emerged from the flames, raising its arms. I warned, "Everyone be ready." The fire elemental conjured a massive fire arrow above its head. I commanded, "Protect yourselves." The arrow exploded on impact, sending me and nearby heroes crashing into the wall. No perspective, room number 7. All Might grumbled, "It's hard to see. Good thing there haven't been any creatures, just this oppressive heat. But it's nothing. Haha." He encouraged the others, "Let's pick up the pace." A hero reported, "Sir, there's something there. I can't see it but my echo quirk senses it. It seems human." All Might chuckled heartily as he led his group forward, eager to discover what lay ahead. "Let's go see what it is. It may help us," he said confidently. A fellow hero, impressed by his optimism, remarked, "You are smart, All Might." With another laugh, All Might replied, "I know I am." As they advanced, they noticed a small figure standing with its back to them. All Might called out, "Sir, it is me, All Might. Can you tell me where I can find a boss room?" The figure remained silent. Growing impatient, one of the heroes shouted, "Hey, you idiot! Did you not hear?" He approached the figure, demanding, "Turn around and answer him." As the figure turned, its face began to burn, and it swung a hammer that appeared out of nowhere, striking the approaching hero. The hero fell, his head crushed into his body, as the figure turned its attention to the rest of the group. "You will pay, villain!" All Might shouted, charging at the figure. The figure raised a glowing buckler, and as All Might's attack connected, he was forced to retreat. The figure shifted its buckler, which emitted smoke and glowed red, and chanted, "Verthica Vigner Valignat." A large circle appeared beneath the heroes, and they felt an intense gravitational force that broke their legs. All Might fell to his knees as the figure swung its hammer into his chest, sending him crashing into a wall. A shadow emerged from the fallen hero's body. Yoroi Musha, a shadow knight, addressed the figure. Azer, I know you understand, but I am speaking through my shadow. I will take them and you will not stop me. Shadowy hands lifted the fallen heroes, dragging them to floor #Hawks perspective floor number 6. Hawks was overwhelmed by the chaos around him. How could such a monster exist? The commission had known and kept it quiet. How did it come to this? A few minutes earlier, Ryukyu confronted Hawks. Hawks, why did you allow All Might to dismiss most of the heroes? You know how little he thinks of them. What do you mean? Hawks replied, feigning ignorance. Don't try to deny it. I know what happened a few years ago in China, Ryukyu insisted. I don't know what you're talking about, Hawks said, though he knew exactly what she meant. He had been there. I will let it slide this time, but if something happens, I will blame it on him and you, Ryukyu warned. As they moved forward, they noticed a small man with a face covered in flames, wielding a hammer and a buckler. The man raised his hammer, shouting as he slammed it into the floor. Ixon Kapesk, he cried. Everyone, protect yourselves. Ryukyu shouted, but before she could finish, a fireball struck her back, sending her flying. Another hit her stomach, crashing her to the ground. Hawks heard the screams of Crust and the others. In that moment he felt a fireball burn his wings and back, knocking him to the floor. He watched the monster approach. Present. As Hawks lost consciousness, a shadow emerged from Ryukyu's body. Azer, I know you understand me. I will take these humans, and if you try to stop me, I will allow Igris to attack you, the shadow warned. Azer charged at the Shadow Knight, but Igris summoned his sword and cleaved Azer in two. The voice spoke again through Igris. Igris, take the humans and drop them on floor number 8, then return to the shadow of Ryukyu. Igris nodded, lifting Ryukyu as two more shadows appeared to carry the other fallen heroes. Floor number 11. Endeavor stood bleeding from the head, surrounded by 4 injured heroes. It's just me, Best Jeanist, Ed shot, and... Was it Marshall? Not important. That last attack took most of the heroes, and some are dead. We need to retreat, but how do we do that with that monster? We can barely do anything. He turned to Jeanist, who looked exhausted. Are you capable of pulling everyone back to the rendezvous point? Endeavor asked. Jeanist nodded and gestured, drawing the downed heroes toward the entrance of floor #. The fire elemental noticed and raised its spear, aiming at the entrance. Darastrix Osser If Ixenhlar. The elemental shouted, engulfed in white flames. Endeavor ran toward the direction the spear was pointing. Just before the elemental fired, a black chakram struck the spear, diverting its aim. Endeavor and the elemental turned to see Ed shot on the floor, a black shadow standing over him. Sorry, fire elemental, but I can't allow you to do that. Let them leave, and I will allow you to live, the shadow said. Kagro, the elemental replied. Yes, he is. But the one you are speaking to is not. I am its summoner. So allow them to leave, and we won't have any problems. In a month, I will see you if they don't defeat you, the shadow warned. Okay, the elemental agreed, turning away. The shadow addressed Endeavor. As for you, Endeavor, I am ONI. This is a challenge toward the Hero Commission. I gave 6 chances to avoid a party kill. You have wasted 2 already, only 4 remain. Why are you doing this? Helping us would mean we have a chance of beating this place, Endeavor questioned. I know you are not as arrogant as the number 1, but if the number 1 can't defeat an Azer, then you won't be able to beat this gate. It seems you drew the short straw because you encountered an irregular monster with intelligence. Remember, every single one of you in this party has only 4 chances left. Use them wisely, the shadow advised before disappearing. Endeavor, weakened, made his way toward floor number 8. As Endeavor entered floor number 8, he saw the remnants of All Mights and Hawks groups, noticing some were missing. He approached Ryukyu, who had just woken up, bandaged and bruised. Ryukyu, what happened to your group? There are fewer of you, he asked, concern etched on his face. Ryukyu sighed, reflecting on the recent attack. We were ambushed by a small human. My scales protected me, so the fireball only knocked me out briefly. But I heard a voice mention something about an Azer and taking us and loot, bringing us here. Endeavor considered this. It seems ONI also targeted Ryukyu and me with shadows. But what about All Might? ONI avoided mentioning his name, referring to him only as #do you know what happened to his group? They had fewer members than yours. Ryukyu replied, I spoke with someone from All Might's group. They encountered the same small man. It killed one of them, and when All Might attacked, the man didn't even flinch. He did something that crushed everyone in their group. Some died from the force, and most suffered broken legs. All Might took severe damage to his chest, and when he regained consciousness, he found himself here. Endeavor decided, we should leave. Ryukyu agreed. With their decision made, Endeavor stood and addressed the group, his voice carrying authority. Ryukyu and I have decided we need to leave this place to get healed. A random hero challenged him, what makes you think you can order us? Endeavor retorted, do you want to stay here? The hero fell silent, and Endeavor continued, that's what I thought. Those who are awake and can move, help the unconscious or severely injured. Those with quirks that can construct items, make a small carriage so those with strength quirks can pull it. As the heroes worked together to create a makeshift cart, they prepared to transport their injured comrades outside. At Ohama Seaside Park, members of the Hero Commission anxiously watched the gate, awaiting the heroes' return. When they saw the battered group emerge, many pulled in a small cart. They exchanged worried glances, realizing the situation was more dire than anticipated. This is going to be harder than we thought, one commission member murmured. Later, at the park, a commission member questioned Endeavor. What happened inside? Endeavor recounted, we entered, and the environment transformed into something resembling an active volcano. All Might instructed those whose quirks were ineffective to leave. So that was the first batch of heroes we saw come out? Another member asked. Correct, Endeavor confirmed. Ryukyu added, visibility was poor, we could only see about 20 feet ahead. What happened next? The first member inquired. Hawks explained, a hero with a recon quirk scouted ahead, and we found a three-way path. Endeavor interrupted. Genist asked if we should split up or stay together. All Might insisted we split up, confident that with the top heroes, the gate posed no danger. So we did, Hawks and Ryukyu in one team, All Might and Yoroi in another, while Genist and I formed the last team. And after you split up? Another member prompted. Hawks sighed. We headed east and encountered a small man. Initially we thought he was human, but he was a monster. He yelled something and lifted a hammer, summoning two strange circles. Ryukyu continued, my instincts kicked in, and I warned everyone to protect themselves, but a fireball hit me in the back, knocking me forward. Another struck my stomach, sending me into the ceiling before I crashed to the ground. A commission member interjected, we heard from All Might's team that they faced the same monster. It killed a team member, survived All Might's attack, and then crushed everyone with increased gravity, breaking bones and causing deaths. The monster struck All Might, and that's all we know before he blacked out. Did you face the same monster, Endeavor? Another member asked. Endeavor shook his head. No, we encountered a human-like skeleton engulfed in flames. It was intelligent and powerful. One hero underestimated it and was skewered by a fiery spear. I attacked with my strongest move, but it shrugged it off and retaliated with an equally powerful attack, sending us into the wall. I instructed Genist to evacuate everyone, and he began to, but the skeleton prepared to collapse the entrance. But what? A member pressed. A weapon appeared, diverting the attack. I saw a shadowy creature emerge. After that, I can't recall much. It mentioned something about returning to fight if we couldn't complete the gate. Then I found myself at our rendezvous point, where Ryukyu and I decided to leave. I can't reveal our chances. If I do, they might exploit it, putting every hero in danger. Was it really that difficult? A member sighed in frustration. Do you think we can conquer this gate? All Might interjected confidently, "Of course. That monster just got lucky. If I knew its capabilities, I could defeat it." "Do you truly believe that, All Might?" another member asked. All Might nodded. "Then it's settled," a member declared. "In 3 days you'll try again." Endeavor protested, "Sir, you can't do that. Many heroes are injured, and some died. We can't proceed." "Then only the top 20 will go," the member insisted. "Fewer numbers might make it easier." "Sir, you don't understand," Endeavor began. "I said in 3 days, the top that's final," the member concluded. As the commission members departed, deep in conversation, they failed to notice the shifting shadow of Ryukyu. Ryukyu expressed her concern, noting that most of the top 20 heroes were nursing injuries that wouldn't heal in just 3 days. Endeavor sighed, acknowledging the situation's gravity. He turned to All Might, questioning whether he truly believed they could confront the monstrous threat they had witnessed. All Might remained resolute, insisting that the creature had merely landed a lucky blow and that they could overcome it with the top 20 heroes. Ryukyu, however, was skeptical. She reminded him of their previous encounter with a similar monster, which had knocked him down. The creature she faced had unleashed fireballs that targeted everyone, and 8 of the 20 heroes had quirks unsuitable for such an environment. Additionally, 4 heroes had injuries that wouldn't heal quickly. She questioned whether they could succeed with the limited number of heroes available, suggesting that the commission might prefer to seek assistance from those who had thwarted the monster invasion in China. All Might remained silent, while Hawk scowled, recalling his experience with All Might during the China invasion 4 years prior. Endeavor urged Ryukyu to let the matter rest, suggesting they all take a break to prepare for their return in 3 days. Hawks agreed, advocating for rest and recovery. As Endeavor made his way home, he noticed a shadow moving in the distance. Upon entering his house, Endeavor was surprised to find an unfamiliar pair of shoes. He heard his eldest daughter, Fuyumi, laughing in the common room. There, she was conversing with a boy who had green-teal hair and wore a long-sleeved turtleneck shirt under a white sweater. Fuyumi laughed, expressing her gratitude for his help with groceries. The boy, Izuku, turned to Endeavor with a friendly greeting, introducing himself as Azazel Shigaraki and extending his hand for a handshake. Endeavor shook his hand, acknowledging the introduction. He then asked Fuyumi to fetch him a cup of tea, mentioning the exhausting task assigned by the commission. Azazel complimented Fuyumi, and Endeavor agreed, then inquired about Azazel's true intentions. Azazel chuckled, maintaining his guise, but Endeavor pressed further, questioning the coincidence of meeting his daughter without knowing her identity. Azazel admitted he knew who she was but assured he had no ill intentions, expressing a longing to meet Endeavor and see Fuyumi again. Endeavor was intrigued by the word, again, and asked why Azazel wanted to meet him. Azazel revealed his knowledge of the Hero Commission's plan, deeming it suicidal to send the top 20 heroes into the gate, given their weaknesses against the monsters. He suggested that while Endeavor and Ryukyu might survive, they would ultimately fail. Before Endeavor could react, Fuyumi returned with tea, interrupting the tense moment. She handed cups to both Endeavor and Azazel, who thanked her, remarking on her kindness as Izuku had described. Fuyumi froze at the mention of Izuku's name, shocked to learn Azazel knew him. Azazel explained that he had helped Izuku after he ran away, seeking his BRH father. He criticized the number 1 hero for being a poor stepfather, contrasting him with Izuku's BRH father, who had done more in a week than the hero had in a lifetime. Endeavor, with sadness in his voice, asked about Izuku's well-being. Azazel questioned why he should share information, given what he had heard about Izuku's family forgetting him after he was declared quirkless. Endeavor refuted this, explaining that they never forgot him and that Izuku had been a blessing, helping him through personal struggles. Azazel, sensing Endeavor's sincerity, sighed and revealed that Izuku was fine. After helping him reach America to find his BRH father, he had found new meaning in life. His father had taken great care of him, and Izuku had mentioned returning to Japan. Fuyumi beamed at the news, eager to inform her mother. Azazel cautioned her to keep it a secret from her younger siblings, as Izuku didn't want his tormentors to know of his return. Fuyumi nodded and left to find her mother at the hospital. With Fuyumi gone, Azazel turned the conversation back to the impending raid on the B-ranked gate. He warned that the top 20 heroes wouldn't succeed, even with the number 1 hero, who had been partly responsible for the incident in China. Endeavor was taken aback, questioning Azazel's claim about the China incident. Azazel explained that the Hero Commission hadn't disclosed the full story and offered to show him the truth. Using magic, he created a large circle on the floor, enveloping them both in a pinkish light. As the light faded, they found themselves on a couch overlooking a city in China. Azazel narrated the events leading to the incident, showing a bustling street where people were oblivious to the lurking danger. A mossy monster emerged, followed by others, causing chaos. A woman's scream attracted the monsters, and a man's fearful attack on one of them inadvertently triggered the China massacre. NG soared through the air, witnessing the devastation below him. The city was in ruins, overrun by monstrous creatures. He couldn't comprehend how things had spiraled so out of control. How did this happen? NG wondered aloud. Why aren't the Chinese heroes doing anything? Azazel, known to some as Izuku, had an answer. As I explained before, when a gate breaks, the monsters trapped inside can spill out. The higher the gate rank, the longer it takes to break. This was a C-rank gate. Unfortunately, China doesn't have many hero schools or heroes. The few that did appear were killed as soon as they got close to the monsters. Then why didn't you do anything? NG pressed. I was in America, Azazel replied. They had their own gates to deal with. A few days later, All Might came to the rescue. The scene shifted to a city destroyed and overrun by forest monsters. 3,000 people died in the first week, Azazel continued. The city became a ruin, overtaken by trees and grass. Though the gate that broke was C rank, the monsters that emerged were closer to rank B. With China lacking heroes, they requested help from Japan. The Hero Commission sent 3 heroes, Hawks, an unnamed hero, and All Might. As day turned to night, All Might declared, I should be able to defeat these monsters in no time. Hawks cautioned him, All Might, the Chinese commission mentioned a boss monster among them. If you defeat it, the rest might die or retreat. The unnamed hero offered, I can help. My quirk allows me to teleport anything within 3 meters to anywhere 2 to 3 miles away, but it drains my stamina. Okay, Hawks replied. The intel says the gate is 4 blocks away, and there are many monsters around. All Might was confident. I should be done in an hour. These tree-like monsters are easy to defeat. With that, he leaped toward the alley where the gate was located. Hawks sighed, let's go. The unnamed hero nodded and followed. Minutes later, they arrived to find multiple monsters dead, with All Might smiling triumphantly. I told you I could defeat these monsters in no time. I also found the gate. You worked fast, Hawks acknowledged. But did you find the boss? All Might shook his head, but then a roar echoed through the air. The 3 heroes turned to see the mini-boss. How dare you trespass in my king's territory? The creature bellowed. What are you? All Might demanded. I am Xylo. Answer me. Why have you trespassed in my king's territory, and who are? Before Xylo could finish, All Might attacked, but roots sprouted from the ground, stopping him. Xylo approached the restrained hero and smashed his fist into All Might's face, sending him flying. Azazel watched, amused. Not going to lie, this was one of the most entertaining things I've seen in a long time. NG was puzzled. Is this what you meant when you said All Might was the cause of the incident? Not exactly, Azazel clarified. After they met Xylo, Hawks tried to save All Might and attacked Xylo, but it only annoyed him. Xylo summoned more monsters to attack Hawks and the other hero. Hawks managed to save All Might from the one-sided fight. All Might ordered a quick teleportation to escape Xylo, but the hero warned it was dangerous without a clear destination. All Might insisted, and unknowingly, a few monsters were within the teleportation zone. They were teleported to an unknown city 3 miles away, spreading the monsters to small towns and cities within that range. Azazel continued. The news reported that the monsters began appearing around the overtaken city, expanding their reach. This would have happened when the actual boss emerged, but thanks to All Might's failure to defeat a C-rank monster, the monsters spread quickly across China, creating mutated monsters and irregular mini-bosses, overtaking 45% of the country. NG asked, "Then what happened?" "I had to intervene," Azazel said. "I needed China's agreement on certain conditions. Once they agreed, my team and I dealt with the monsters. In 2 weeks, the massacre ended. It may sound anticlimactic, but the ability I'm using is draining me." Back in the living room of NG's house, Azazel placed a knife on the table. "Izuku would want me to help you if he knew his tormentors were the reason his aunts and uncles were never there for him. This is the only help I'll give you. This knife can kill any monster, but it's a one-use item, so use it wisely." That, Azazel vanished, leaving NG staring at the knife. On an unnamed island, Izuku appeared on a teleportation pad and walked off, feeling drained. He was right, the monsters had kept everyone away from him. As he headed toward his house, Melissa emerged, wearing an apron. "You're back, Izuku," she called. "I'm almost done with dinner. Momo is setting the table, so go wash up and get ready to eat." "Okay," Izuku replied, hugging her. "You're the best thing to happen to me." "Did something happen while you were out?" Melissa asked, holding him. Izuku sighed. "Yeah, I watched the Hero Commission's raid on the B-rank gate in Ohama Park. It failed. After that, I went to see my uncle." As he left Melissa's embrace and walked toward the kitchen, she asked, "Did you tell him who you are, or did he recognize you?" Izuku reflected on his recent encounter with his uncle, noting that his uncle couldn't even recognize him due to how much he had changed since his youth. When Melissa inquired about the meeting, Izuku explained that it went as expected. He had shown his uncle the events in China and handed over the death dagger they had acquired during their raid on the S-rank in England. Melissa was taken aback, recalling that the dagger was infamous for inflicting death with even the slightest cut, as wielded by the Shadow of Death boss during the raid. Izuku clarified that the dagger he gave was different. It was a one-use item that required a full stab to cause instant death, unlike the original, which could be used indefinitely. Despite Melissa's concerns about the dagger's potential to cause panic, Izuku assured her that his uncle wouldn't misuse it. He had observed the gate's boss, an adult fire basilisk with a petrifying gaze, and an irregular mini-boss, an undead fire elemental with an ultimate-type dragon slayer skill. He believed they would need the dagger's power. Melissa raised an eyebrow, questioning the necessity of such a powerful item. Izuku explained that the mini-boss's ultimate-type skill made it a formidable opponent. He compared it to his own ultimate-type skills, Demonic Sun and Synthesis, and Melissa's Holy Rain. Melissa looked down, feeling inadequate with only one ultimate skill, but Izuku reassured her, taking her hand and reminding her that ultimate skills were rare. She smiled, moving closer to him, just as Momo entered, interrupting their moment. Embarrassed, Melissa and Izuku insisted it wasn't what it seemed. Later, as they enjoyed a meal together, Momo marveled at the delicious rabbit stew, noting her parents' negative opinion of rabbit meat. Izuku explained that the rabbit they used wasn't ordinary, nor were the vegetables. With the gates opening, a unique energy was being released, allowing creatures to evolve. Momo was curious about this energy, and Izuku elaborated that the island they were on was unique, not found on any map, and made entirely of mana. This magic allowed the island to gather and create mana in large quantities, leading to the evolution of animals like the jackalope they had eaten. Melissa added that these jackalopes possessed special skills, such as shadow movement and nature manipulation, making them potentially dangerous. Momo was surprised that such a small creature could pose a threat, but Izuku assured her they were nutritious unless they were the poisonous variant. Izuku then shifted the conversation to Momo's own experiences, asking if she had noticed any changes in her quirk's efficiency. Momo admitted she had, and Melissa explained that the mana on the island had enhanced her abilities. Finally, Izuku revealed that Momo's father had asked him to protect and train her. He and Melissa had been involved in something significant, explaining that Izuku's unique quirk made the world appear as a game to him, with the gates being a consequence. He had warned the government about the gate's dangers, and after the White House incident, He had agreed to help establish an organization to combat them, working alongside the Hero Association. Izuku considered his stance on international involvement, recalling the consequences of the China incident. He had always maintained that he wouldn't interfere with other countries unless they requested assistance. The incident had been a stark reminder of the importance of seeking help from those who understood the situation. With a sigh, he turned to Momo. "We wanted to ask if you'd like to join us. We'll train you regardless, but you'll gain more benefits if you officially join." He sent a party invitation to Momo. "If you agree, you'll become part of our organization." Momo studied the floating screen before her. "Will I still be able to be a hero?" "Yes," Izuku assured her. "You'll still be a hero, but you'll need to close gates when they appear and face beings far stronger than the #1 hero, including." He paused, irritation flickering across his face. "All Might." Momo pondered deeply before responding, "I agree." As she accepted, the screen before her vanished, replaced by another detailing her stats. Name, Momo Yaoyorozu. Age, 18. Title, Heiress of the Yaoyorozu Company. Class, None. Quirk, Creation. Race, Human. Level, 03. Health, 140. Mana, 190. Seal. Strength, 30. Constitution, 14. Intelligence, 19. Wisdom, 13. Charisma, 16. Luck, 15. Points, 00. Money, $226,370. Izuku examined the data. "We'll need to work on increasing your stats and unsealing your mana. How about we start tomorrow? A level 2 Apocalypse ID should be a good beginning." He glanced at Melissa. "What do you think, Mel? Is it feasible with her current stats?" Melissa nodded confidently. "Yes, I'll be there with her, so it's no problem. After that, we'll need to determine what class suits her best." Momo looked between them, puzzled. "Class? ID? What are you both talking about?" Izuku and Melissa exchanged a knowing smile. "No need to worry," they said in unison. Momo frowned. "Why are you both smiling like that?" They laughed. No reason at all." "Please stop talking in sync," Momo pleaded. Izuku Yagi stood at the edge of the training grounds, the morning sun casting a warm glow over the landscape. He breathed deeply, feeling the weight of his responsibilities as a hero. Today was significant. He was determined to prove himself. His mentor, All Might, approached with a grin. "Ready for another round, young Yagi?" Izuku nodded, excitement bubbling within him. "Absolutely. I've been practicing my moves." As they began their training, Izuku concentrated on his technique, recalling All Might's advice. "Remember, it's not just about strength, it's about strategy too." After several hours of intense training, Izuku felt a surge of confidence. "I think I'm getting the hang of it," he exclaimed, wiping sweat from his brow. All Might chuckled, his eyes sparkling with pride. "You've come a long way, Izuku. Just keep pushing yourself." Later, as they wrapped up, Izuku reflected on his progress and the path ahead.